shot. Good. Oh, my. It's a three-pointer. Carolina wins it. The Tar Heels win it.
The following is a presentation of the Tar Heels Sports Network.
It has already been a dramatic and emotional weekend in Chapel Hill. I'm guessing everybody is likely still a little tired from last night's 47-45 double overtime football victory over Duke, but look, there is more business to handle. Carolina basketball, coming off a strong opening night victory on Monday, is back in action today against Lehigh. And in the very near future, the Tar Heels schedule ramps up dramatically. So the Heels look to fine-tune their craft today in the Smith Center. So wake up, it's game day, and the Tar Heels are back on the court. The Tar Heels Sports Network's coverage of the second meeting between Lehigh and Carolina starts right now.
R.J. Davis, he's going to try a quick three. Yes, from the right sideline.
2-on-1. Baycott finishes the transition hammer. The drive is pass taken away by R.J. Davis. Davis 2-on-2, slips, saves it to Trimble, though, who scoops it in. Rebound, Carolina, it's Davis. He's fouled, and give him it. He got it to go. Has a chance for three. Pulls up, no good. Washington, the rebound in the putback. Tries the alley-oop, broken up by Trimble. Long pitch ahead, Davis. Baycott for the hammer. Turnaround for two. He got it at the horn. How about them Tar Heels?
The Tar Heels Sports Network is on the air with Carolina basketball.
This is Dave Nathan. The season opener against Radford is in the rearview mirror. A new opponent awaits Carolina today as Lehigh is in town. Jones Ains will have the call of this afternoon's contest.
Yeah, Dave, there was a lot to like from that 16-point win on Monday over Radford, but plenty to improve on as well. Carolina looks to take another step forward today against Lehigh. Man, we're excited. Joining us today is Marcus Ginyard, part of two ACC championship teams in Chapel Hill. Of course, on that 2009 national title team, played more than a decade overseas.
Thanks, Jones. It's great to be here. I'm excited to see these new faces of North Carolina basketball, these great transfers, these two great freshmen. Excited to see how they continue to gel with this team moving forward.
We've got all those storylines on the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Plus, Mac Brown recaps last night's football game against Duke. We'll bring you interviews with head coaches Hubert Davis and Brett Reed. Marcus Ginyard and Adam Lucas answer your questions about the Tar Heels, and we'll check on scores from around the country, too. All of that and more is coming up as we count you down to tip-off between the Tar Heels and Mountain Hawks. From the Smith Center in Chapel Hill, this is Carolina basketball from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball on the Tar Heels Sports Network, and you're listening to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Carolina basketball is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, the official pizza of Carolina Athletics. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show.
Carolina 1-0 after beating Radford last week in the season opener. The Heels put together two solid halves on the offensive end, but defensively, didn't feel like things began to click until the second stanza. But, Jones, however you want to slice it, this already feels like a group that enjoys playing together.
Yeah, you know, the word that just kept popping into my head after the game on Monday was fun. I mean, it was just fun to watch Carolina play. And I think at the end of last season, obviously the Tar Heels didn't win as much as they would like to, but it also just wasn't real fluid. They didn't ever feel like they were quite on the page that they wanted to be on together. And Marcus Ginyard joining us today in our analyst seat. We're excited to have Marcus with us. And Marcus, one thing you took away from Monday is these guys had fun playing. The effort was high. There was a lot of sharing of the basketball. The pace was better, closer to what I think Coach Davis wants on a consistent basis. It just looked more like what we've all become accustomed to as Carolina basketball. And, gosh, it was fun to watch in that 16-point win.
Absolutely. It was fun to watch. And like you said, these guys had fun. But the reason they had fun is because they played Carolina basketball. You touched on those points. They played with pace. They played together. They shared the ball. They played hard on defense. All of those things come together to create a game that's fun to play. And these guys are talented. And so when they play that way, they're going to play well, and it's fun.
I'd be interested in Dave mentioned the defense, and it obviously got a lot better in the second half compared to the first, and give Radford credit. They hit some tough shots, I thought, in the first half, but they got to the rim too much, too, in the first half. Tar Heels switched almost exclusively. We saw that in the exhibition game as well. I'd just be interested in your opinion on this Tar Heel defense and the versatility that it has on that side of things.
I think versatility is the name of the game for our defense. Obviously, we're going to need to have that effort, but having the ability to switch and have bigger guys guard other guards, I think is crucial. And I think, to your point, they made a lot of tough shots Radford did in that game. But I sat in the stands and I said every time they made one of those shots, I said, that's a good shot. If we can make them take that shot every time, we're going to win at the end of the game.
Quickly on the injury report, Cormac Ryan turned an ankle in the exhibition. Paxton Wojcik needed 10 stitches before the Radford game. Neither of those issues derailed a pair of solid Carolina debuts.
Yeah, those guys are both fine. Paxton's still wearing the headband to cover up where they got the wayward elbow by Armando Baycott in the shoot-around before the game against Radford. But, Dave, both those guys fully clear, expected to go expect Carolina to be fully available this afternoon against Lehigh for sure.
Definitely excited to have these two guys on the basketball court.
Yeah.
They bring a great bit of grit and toughness to this basketball team that's going to be super important moving forward.
Added experience, added depth, added bodies. It all adds up to a revamped Carolina roster here tonight taking on Lehigh. We'll discuss the Mountain Hawks when we come back after this. And this is the Reach Jewelers pregame show from Learfield. Food Line Feeds has donated over 3.2 million meals to local food banks through the Food Line Score to Give More program. For every free throw made by the Tar Heels this season, Food Line Feeds will continue to donate 100 meals to feed our neighbors in need right here in the Triangle. Dave Nathan welcoming you back to the Reach Jewelers pregame show. It's the Tar Heels and Lehigh Mountain Hawks, a program you might remember as the bunch that bounced Duke out of the 2012 NCAA tournament in Greensboro, but that was the last time Lehigh was in the big dance. But, Jones, this seems like a program on the uptick after consecutive top four finishes in the Patriot League.
Yeah, picked second in their league this preseason. And, by the way, I think in retrospect, in hindsight, you realize C.J. McCollum, pretty good basketball player. That probably helped that 2012 Lehigh team to that upset, of course. But, Marcus, I'm not saying that C.J. McCollum's out there, but what Lehigh does have is a couple guards that can really score. Keith Higgins Jr. Coming off a game where he put up 23 points on the road at Penn State, a very competitive game. Penn State did eventually win at the end. You also have Tyler Whitney Sidney, a junior who had 23 points in their season opening their season opening loss against Cornell. So you've got, as is often the case when you play games like this, they've got some guys in the backcourt that can really put the ball in the basket. That would be one of the focuses, I would assume, for the Tar Heels today to try to slow those guys down.
Absolutely. I think that the Tar Heels are definitely going to be having, those two guys in their sights and make sure they keep them under control. And those two gentlemen that you mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, both have been all-league rookie team players and are preseason all-league players right now. And so something that we're definitely going to need to pay attention to, but ultimately playing Carolina basketball should get us through this one.
Also, Dave, interesting that Lehigh has out-rebounded each of its first two opponents, including out-rebounding Penn State the other day, 40-38. Not a huge margin, but they out-rebounded a Power 5 team. And Carolina, I don't think the Tar Heels rebounded as well as they would like in that game against Radford. They out-rebounded the Highlanders 37-34. Clearly, that is an area where Carolina traditionally dominates in the stat sheet. So that'll be something worth watching today, is how the Tar Heels and Lehigh, a good rebounding mid-major team, how that battle shakes out on the glass.
That's another area where Keith Higgins could contribute to today's game, because you're right, he was the only player in double figures the other night against Penn State with those 23 points. But in the Cornell game, he had 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 4 assists. And Marcus, for the kind of defensive player that you were, who's licking their chops right now to try to have a go at Keith Higgins just to keep the ball out of his hands?
If I was a betting man, I'd put my money on Harrison Ingram. I think that the versatility of Harrison Ingram is going to be such a huge key for this North Carolina basketball team. But honestly, I think Paxton Wojcik would be another guy that we may see some time on Higgins Jr. But it's going to be a group effort, that's for sure. So hopefully these guys are ready to go and ready to defend today.
That's our look at the Lehigh Mountain Hawks coming to Chapel Hill after a quick turnaround, falling on Friday to Penn State 74-65 and looking for their first win of the season after falling in the opener to Cornell. And so we'll see what happens just around 2 o'clock when this game gets tipped off. We'll take a break, come back. Marcus is going to stick around. Adam Lucas will join us. They'll answer some of your Carolina questions. And then Jones begins his 2-part conversation with Coach Davis in the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show from Learfield. Today's pregame show is brought to you by Reed's Jewelers. The official Reed's Jewelers tip-off time is 2:01. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. That's Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. We trust Marcus Ginyard and Adam Lucas to tackle some of your Carolina questions. And Marcus, the first one we've got for you today comes from Jeff Reed, who reminds us all that you played under Coach Williams, who put such an emphasis on tempo. He wants to know, what are some of the little ways you see this Tar Heel team playing faster?
Well, thanks for the question, Jeff. I think that we're already seeing this Tar Heel basketball team play a little faster in the exhibition game in the first game of the season last week. I think it really starts with defense. If the Tar Heels can play better defense consistently, I think that's going to put them in a better position to get the ball out and run. But I think we got guards and really a whole group of guys that are focused on pushing the pace and playing faster. So I think that's something that we're going to see moving forward.
Hey, Marcus, I think a lot of times people think when somebody says we want to play faster, that just means run fast. What about some of that other stuff, like get the ball out of the basket after makes faster? The four-man's always looking to get it up court. The point guard's catching it, moving towards the basket instead of going back towards the defensive basket. How do you make that stuff become second nature?
It really just comes down to practice and holding each other accountable out there on the court, coaches and players holding everybody accountable to do their job. And like you said, everybody's got a job to do. The guards have got to sprint the sidelines. They got to get to the deep corner. The big man's got to run. Like you said, point guard's got to catch it, moving towards the other basket. And it's not just running to run. You have to run and be able to make decisions on the fly and make the right one. So it takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of focus, but it's something that they're going to need to do.
Marcus, you mentioned Harrison Ingram a little earlier in relation to defense. He seems like a guy kind of in maybe that Theo Pinson mold that can grab it off the glass, start the break himself, and make a good decision in transition.
Absolutely. I think that he is our most versatile player, and I hope to be wrong. I hope somebody else steps up and shows us their versatility as well. But I just think that Harrison Ingram has a unique skill set that we can do a lot of different things, and I certainly believe that we're going to see him handling the ball for this Tar Heel team.
All right, that's our first question of two. Second one from Bruce Nelson. Adam, this one's got your name on it. How set do you think the rotation or the starting lineup is at this point in the season?
Not set. It's the second game of the year. Carolina's playing Lehigh. I think it's not set at all. I think Hubert Davis will want to get as many bodies in the game today as he possibly can, just like he did against Radford, because you're still looking for that right mix. You're still trying to decide. He knows he's not going to go 12 deep when he goes to the semifinals in the Bahamas, but he wants to know which 8 or 9 he can rely on the most, what mix goes best together. And sometimes you find out things, Marcus, in games like this where maybe you give somebody minutes who maybe you weren't sure was going to play that much, but they go out there and show you something. That's the way to earn even more time.
You're absolutely right. This is the time to kind of play around with those lineups and see, to your point, what comes out of these different combinations. And I think that there's a lot of different ways that we can look at this, and so we're just going to need some time to see what they all look like.
I think Zayden High is your textbook guy in that case, because I think if you kind of look at it on paper, he might be on the outside looking in, and you might think, well, I don't know where his minutes are going to come from. But when he's been out there, he has produced, and he rebounds like a maniac, which is, if you never take a shot, if you put into the effort into rebounding that he has so far, you're going to play.
I absolutely love Zayden High for that reason. Just those effort plays that don't look great and certainly don't show up on the stat sheet, even if you're just tipping the ball out to somebody else to get the rebound. He's super active all over the basketball court, but those are the winning plays that it takes for a basketball team to be successful.
Guys, I'll let you close with this. I don't know if we've heard it yet this year from Coach Davis, but through the Coach Williams years, we always heard it. The coaches don't decide who starts. The players decide who starts.
the best problem a coach can have is he's got too many players who have put their resume down that they need to be out there. The worst possible problem a coach can have is he doesn't know who to put in.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't trust anybody. And I think at this point in the year, again, it's game 2. I think Hubert Davis feels pretty good about a lot of guys he's got over there with him.
He certainly does, and it is always, always, always the job of the player to make himself so important that the coach has to put him in the game. That's always on the player. They have to make it so that the coach looks down the bench and says, you know what, I need you in the game. I feel comfortable with you in the game. I know you're going to help us win.
Carolina's back in the Smith Center today to host Lehigh, and I'm with the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. We are inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. And, Coach, we all got to see the Heels in action on Monday night in that 16-point win over Radford. Looking back, what were your main takeaways from that victory?
Well, I was really happy and encouraged, by the effort of the players. I mean, just they always play hard and compete. And, Radford's a really good basketball team. I mean, they won 21 games last year. Their guards are all-league performers. And so we knew that it would be very competitive. And, from an offensive standpoint, I thought our pace was really good. I love the way that we shared the basketball. We had 18 assists. And then in the second half, we decided to really step it up defensively and rebounding the basketball. And I think that made the difference in the second half where we were able to pull away is just our ability to get stops and get rebounds and get out in transition and run.
I was going to ask you about that defense. At least statistically, it was a lot better in the second half than the first. What did you feel like your team did better defensively in that second half?
Well, I thought there was more resistance in terms of, trying to make them miss. I mean, in the first half, Radford's guards that not only can they score, they can make difficult shots. And I felt like in the first half, they were hitting difficult shots, but they also, they got 8 offensive rebounds. And so I thought we did a better job of climbing into the ball, being more physical, making them miss shots. And obviously we did a much better job of rebounding the basketball. And, for us, if we defend, we rebound and take care of the basketball, that's really good news for us.
Gosh, it was fun to watch your team move the ball on Monday night. It seems like that could be a strength for this year's group.
Oh, it's a characteristic of this team. They just from day one have enjoyed sharing the basketball, and they have a mentality of good to great. And it's also really neat to see our guys, the emotions that they have are even greater when they pass the ball as opposed to when they're making a shot. And I love seeing that type of emotion from the players, and it's something that's been consistent since they've come together.
Coach, what have been some of the points of emphasis as you guys get ready for game number 2 here on the 2024 season?
Well, Lehigh is a team that has really experienced all-league, Patriot guards that can really score. And they're a good shooting team and can shoot the ball from 3-point range. And so, from a defensive standpoint, we have to be locked in because they've got a number of guards that can just really get buckets, whether it's from 3, taking it to the basket, and also the mid-range game. We've got to do a really good job of defending without fouling, which I thought we did really well throughout the entire game against Radford earlier in the week. And then we just got to rebound. If we rebound and we get out in transition, I just love our pace, the way that we pitch the ball ahead in transition, and getting easy shots in our primary break. That's something that's really important to us, and that's something that we're going to have to do against Lehigh.
Coach, last thing, when you're preparing for a game, how much do you balance preparing for that specific opponent versus refining things that you want your team to do well all season long?
I think it's a combination of both. When I played here with Coach Smith, we never did any scouting reports. He just said if you just do what you've practiced in practice, you'll be more than fine and prepared out there on the floor, and I 100% believe in that. But also believe in scouting reports too. And so and scouting reports aren't a cheat sheet. I tell the guys it's just to give you a little edge in terms of anticipation on what you might expect out there on the floor. And so having those scouting reports specific to the opponent that you're playing, I think also helps alongside your daily principles of putting yourself in a position to be successful on both ends of the floor.
Carolina try to be successful this afternoon against Lehigh in the Smith Center. Coach, as always, thank you for your time, and best of luck this afternoon.
All right, thanks a lot, Jones. Appreciate it.
Jones, my key for this one is ball movement. We've heard Coach Davis talk about it a bunch. Let's see how often we go from a good shot to a great shot.
Dave, I'm just going with making Lehigh's guards take tough shots. Marcus, Lehigh's got a good backcourt. They're going to hit some shots. Carolina would just like to make it as difficult as possible for them to do so.
Absolutely. And you heard from Coach Davis. I think it's just about playing Carolina basketball, doing all the things that makes this a great team and playing fast and rebounding the basketball, great effort on defense, and everything else will take care of itself.
That concludes the Reach Jewelers pregame show. We'll have the tip-off for you coming up next between Carolina and Lehigh from Learfield.
Lights are off in the Smith Center, getting ready for the second meeting between Lehigh and Carolina. Thanks so much for being with us today. Our coverage this afternoon is presented by Wegmans. Wegmans will be accepting new unwrapped toys and gift cards starting November 24th through December 16th. That will be donated to the UNC Children's Hospital. Participants may drop off their gifts at the Chapel Hill Wegmans service desk. All right, let's get to the Duncan uniform report. Brought to you by our friends at Duncan. Time to get back to buzzer beaters, blocks, bounce passes, and most of all, Duncan. Welcome back, Tar Heel fans. America runs on Duncan. Lehigh, the visitors today, going with deep brown road uniforms, white numbers, letters, and trim, both on the jerseys and on the pants. Meanwhile, Carolina in its traditional home whites with the Carolina blue numbers, letters, and trim, the Argyle down the side of the uniform. How about the starting lineups presented by Coors Light? Coors Light, made to chill, an official beer of the Tar Heels. Let's start with the visitors. Lehigh 0-2. They've lost two competitive games at home against Cornell, a game they led at halftime but lost by 6, and then a game at Penn State where they were tied at halftime, lost on the road by 9. Starting five for Lehigh looks like this. They're going to start three guards. Keith Higgins, coming off a 23-point performance against Penn State on Friday night, the junior from West Hills, California. He's joined back there by Tyler Whitney Sidney, 6'2 junior from Somerville, Massachusetts. Whitney Sidney averaging 16 points through the first two games. Keith Higgins Jr. at 15.5. Jalen Sinclair, 5'10", out of Manhattan, New York, averaging 7.5 points and a team best 3.5 assists through two games. And then some decent size up front for Lehigh. Bube Moma, 6'8 sophomore from Unionville, Connecticut, averaging 7 points and 6 rebounds through two games. And Dominic Carolin, a 6'9 senior, originally from British Columbia, Canada. So that's the five for Lehigh under the guidance of Dr. Brett Reed in his 17th year leading the Mountain Hawks. Meanwhile, for Carolina, just the second game of the season. Heels 1-0 after the 86-70 victory over Radford on Monday night. Hubert Davis in his third year at the head coaching position of his alma mater. He's won nearly 69% of his games through 2+ seasons. And it will be the same starting five for Carolina as went out there on Monday night. 6-foot senior from White Plains, New York, R.J. Davis, coming off a career-high 16 points per game a season ago. He's joined by Notre Dame transfer Cormac Ryan. Ryan had 13 points in his Tar Heel debut, 10 of which came in the first half. Paxton Wojcik, 6'5 graduate student, a transfer from Brown, originally from Charleston. Good shooter. We'll see if Paxton made a three the other night, 38% a season ago. Harrison Ingram, what a versatile player. The 6'7 Stanford transfer had a good game in his first game as a Tar Heel. Filled up the stat sheet, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. And then, of course, Carolina's All-America big man Armando Bacot, the graduate student from Richmond, coming off a 25-point, 13-rebound double-double on Monday night against Radford. It was the 69th double-double of his career. Armando leads Carolina's all-time record in that category. He is third all-time in ACC history. Only Tim Duncan and Ralph Sampson had more double-doubles than Armando. The three officials this afternoon, three veteran ACC names, Ron Groover, Doug Sermons, Lee Cassell. Three good ones will be calling the action this afternoon. Big congratulations to Aaron Matson and Tar Heel field hockey. They won earlier today 4-2, so they're moving on in the NCAA tournament to go to the Final Four of that event. And men's soccer leading Clemson 1-0 in the ACC championship game. We'll keep you up to date on that one as well. It's going to be MoMA and Baycott to jump it up. Lee Cassell tosses it up. Both players slap the basketball. Ends up to Lehigh. They'll have it first. Jalen Sinclair checked by R.J. Davis in the middle of the floor. Short bounce pass tipped away by Carolina into the hands of Davis. A little bit messy on the pass, and Wojcik slapped it free, and Carolina has possession going right to left as we see it here in the Smith Center. Davis, short bounce pass, right wing to Baycott, holding it above his head, now to Ingram. Swings it left sideline. It's R.J. Davis again. Looking down low for Baycott. Armando gets it on the baseline left, one-on-one with Carolin. Couple of dribbles, backing in, gets right to the front of the rim. His hook shot, though, rolls off. Armando tips it once, no, puts it back up again, won't drop. Wojcik out of there with the offensive rebound, and then he's tied up, and a foul, nope, it's going to be a jump ball, going to be called, and it will belong to Carolina. So a furious first 41 seconds. Baycott had about 3 looks from right at the lip of the cup, but couldn't get him to go. 16 on the shot clock for the Tar Heels. Wojcik will throw it in, bounces it in the corner left to Davis, up the sideline to Ryan, quickly reverses course with the pass to Ingram. Drives hard from the right wing, flips it off the glass with the left hand for 2.
Great drive by Ingram there, able to finish with that left hand.
Boy, he came hard from the right wing and finished on the left side of the rim. So 2-0 Carolina. Carolin faces up in the post against Baycott on the other side, right side. Gets too deep, and they're going to call foul on Baycott. So an early foul on the Tar Heel big man. And really helped out Carolin because he had gotten too deep under the basket, didn't really have anywhere to go. But Baycott got a little handsy and picks up the personal. Inbounds goes to Carolin, hands it right back to the man who gave it to him, Sinclair. Tar Heels got mixed up defensively. Sinclair bounced it back to Carolin, and he was unguarded for the layup. Davis and Baycott both went after Sinclair, and that left Carolin unguarded. Cormac Ryan will try a quick 3 on the other side. Off the front iron, it won't drop. Rebound trickles into the hands of Carolin for Lehigh. Still 2-2, just about 90 seconds into the ball game here in the Smith Center. Sinclair on the left wing, guarded by Wojcik. Has to back out, nothing there. Boy, cross-court pass almost stolen by Cormac Ryan, but into the hands of Higgins, and he misses the mid-range jumper on the drive. Rebound to the Tar Heels. Still 2-2 here in the Smith Center. Paxton Wojcik tries to get it down low to Baycott. The pass off the mark, tipped away, and it's a turnover. Here comes Lehigh the other direction. Whitney Sidney gets deep, hands off to MoMA, stripped by Ingram, but he's called for the foul. Foul on Ingram, Marcus, his first, second on Carolina.
Seeing both of these teams play with a lot of pace right now. Both North Carolina and Lehigh really getting up and down the court. North Carolina's got to do a better job taking care of the basketball.
Yeah, Carolina been a little messy with the Tar Heels here early on. 2 minutes gone, almost 2 minutes gone by as MoMA at the free throw line rattles in the first. So he's a perfect 9 for 9 now on the season at the free throw line. He had only taken 19 free throws a year ago, made 15 of them. A 9 for 9 this season, and he's given Lehigh the early 3-2 lead, and now it's 4-2. Made them both. So Carolina scored the first bucket, but Lehigh scored the last 4. 2 minutes in, 4-2 Mountain Hawks. R.J. Davis on the left side for Carolina in the front court. Gets a screen from Baycott. Pulls up at the left elbow. Nothing but net. Nice job there, Marcus. R.J. working off that screen.
Great screen by Armando Baycott. Getting R.J. an open look at the elbow.
4-4. Carolina and Lehigh all tied up. Lehigh with the basketball. Pitches it over to Whitney Sidney. Open look for 3. No good. Baycott way up there for the rebound. Gives it to R.J. Davis. Hubert Davis says, go, go, go. Wants his Tar Heels running. R.J. gets to about the free throw line, but has to back out. To Baycott. Hands off to Cormac Ryan. Behind a screen. Thought he was going to elevate for 3, but instead dumps it to Davis. He'll try the triple and nail it from the right sideline. R.J. Davis doesn't mind shooting, and when he's feeling it, we've seen him in his Carolina career. He can put points in bunches as Elliot Cadeau is going to come to the scorer's table for Carolina. A three-pointer from the corner is missed by Carolin. Rebound to Harrison Ingram. Tar Heels on the run, leading 7-4. Ingram sprinting down the left side. Got going too fast. He slipped and fell, but saved it out to Wojcik. Carolina will reset in the half court. Wojcik has it again on the left sideline. Baycott really battling for position in the post. Carolin keeping him out of there right now. To Cormac Ryan. Hard drive on the right. Gets to the rim, but misses the layup. Tar Heels have had a couple shots right at the lip of the cup that haven't gone in. Other direction. Baycott blocks away the layup attempt. Loose ball saved by Lehigh. They'll keep possession. 20 on the shot clock. Heels up 7-4 here early on. Higgins Jr. on the right sideline for Lehigh. Pitches it out to Carolin. Hands it right back to Higgins Jr. Trying to drive on R.J. Davis. 7 on the shot clock for Lehigh. Higgins turn around in the mid-range. No good. Baycott with the rebound. Carolina, long pitch ahead to Ryan. Pump fake for 3. He's going to the rim again, and this time he draws the foul. Couldn't get the layup to go, but he will have a couple free throws as the foul is called on MoMA, his first. Marcus, we have not lacked for pace here in the first couple minutes of this one.
And we talked about that pregame, and we see right here Cormac Ryan with a great decision not to take an early 3 and to attack the basket. He missed that prior take to the cup, but again, draws the foul, putting a little pressure on this Lehigh defense.
Yeah, and Carolina's 3 of 8 from the field, and Baycott and Ryan account for 5 of those misses, and 4 of those that they've missed have been right at the rim. Carolina's gotten some good looks, just hadn't had a lot of them go in here early on. So it's 7-4. Ryan at the free throw line for 2 shots. First one's up and good, and that will give Elliot Cadeau and Jalen Washington the opportunity to check in. They will replace Wojcik and Baycott. So the 5 on the floor for Carolina will be Davis, Cadeau, Ryan, Ingram, and Washington. And Marcus, been fun to watch Elliot Cadeau here early on.
It certainly has, and excited to see what he's going to bring to this game today. Obviously, he's going to bring that speed and just passing ability and toughness too.
You heard Ryan strip the net on that one. He's 6 for 6 in his Tar Heel career from the line, and it's 9-4. Lehigh has a couple subs as well, including JT Tan, a 280-pound senior who has it at the free throw line back to the basket. He hands off to Higgins, who knocks in the mid-range jumper. Nice play there, as it was a little handoff pass by Tan, also included a screen as he did so. R.J. Davis with Carolina leading 9-6 over to Cadeau, right back to Davis. Gets a screen from Jalen Washington. He'll pull up for another 3. That one's short, off the mark, and the rebound just bounces over the baseline to Lehigh. It will also send us to a dead ball timeout. 15:38 to go in the first half. Carolina 9, Lehigh 6 after the first 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Excited to be back with you in the Smith Center. It's Carolina basketball from Lear Field. 15 minutes, 38 seconds to go. First half in the Smith Center. Carolina with the early advantage, 9-6 over Lehigh. Harris Teeter, the official grocery store of the Tar Heels, offers everything you need for the perfect game day. From subs to pizza to snacks and drinks, they have you covered. Plus, they offer great ways to save every day with fuel points, eVic, and Harris Teeter Plus. Visit harristeeter.com for more info, harristeeter.com. 5 points for R.J. Davis, 2 apiece for Ingram and Ryan. Carolina just 3 of 9 from the field. Lehigh is only 2 of 7 shooting thus far. Those are some of the Lenovo stats brought to you by Lenovo, smarter technology for all. One area that Carolina's done a nice job early is rebounding. Already 7 boards for Carolina, 5 of which, Marcus, are from Armando Baycott, something that he does well as Carolina's all-time leading rebounder.
Something that we're going to expect from him every game, as we have in the past, but I think what we really want is to make those chippies that we missed earlier in the game.
Yeah, Baycott had 3 shots right at the rim, kind of punched one up and then caught it, went back up. None of them went in. Cormac Ryan missed a driving layup as well. Tar Heels have gotten some good looks, but just 3 of 9 from the field. Baycott does have an early foul, so Washington is checked in. He's at a significant weight disadvantage in the post. JT Tan listed at 280 pounds. Jalen listed at 230. So we'll see if Lehigh tries to use their size advantage, at least weight-wise, in the post to try to bang Jalen around a little bit. Ball does belong to Lehigh after R.J. Davis missed the shot before the timeout that bounced out of bounds. Carolina showing some light backcourt pressure. Lehigh gets it in to Tan. He'll hand it right back off to Jalen Sinclair, and Carolina eases up as the Mountain Hawks head front court. There's Tan at the free throw line. Washington trying to guard him. Picks up his dribble, back still to the basket, nowhere to go with it. He's in some trouble. Finally able to kick it out to freshman Nasir Whitlock, who's checked in for Lehigh. 7 seconds on the shot clock for the Mountain Hawks. Driving left of the lane is MoMA, cut off by Ryan. Shot clock down to 2. Just a late shot clock chuck for 3 that goes for Keith Higgins. Good defense by Carolina, but it results in a tie game as the Mountain Hawks hit the triple. So 9-9 the score as Ingram has it on the left baseline for Carolina, spinning into the paint, gets to the rim, hooks it home, and draws the foul. Foul's going to be on MoMA. That's his second for Lehigh. And Harrison Ingram has a chance for three. Well, Ingram, we said it's such a versatile player, and that time you saw him use his size, 6'7", 235, to back his way in, get a great look, and draw the foul as well.
He took his time, didn't rush it, made a great play at the basket.
One area that Ingram has struggled some is at the free throw line. He was just a 59% shooter last year, and he comes up short there, so he's just 2 of 6 here early in the season at the free throw stripe for Carolina. 11-9 the score. Quick catch and shoot three is made by Sinclair, so he knocks in the triple, and it's 12-11. Lehigh with the early lead. 14:32 to go in the first half. Cadeau left alone for three, and boy, hit nothing but the backboard from straight away. And then the rebound bounced hard off of Jalen Washington, who was getting down there, and out of bounds. Cadeau, that one wasn't real close. He's 0 for 2 from behind the arc so far this season. Some more backcourt pressure from Carolina. Lehigh made its last 3 shots, including a couple of threes, and that's helped them to a 1-point lead, 12-11. Whitlock, front court right side for the visitors. Kicks it over for another look at three. That one's too strong by Higgins. Cadeau had gotten caught up behind a screen, but the Tar Heels get fortunate that the shot's missed. Meanwhile, on the other side, R.J. Davis sprints to the mid-range and knocks it in for 2. That's 7 of Carolina's 13 points belong to R.J. Davis here early on. He's 3 for 4 from the floor. Lehigh other side. Freshman Whitlock trying to drive by Davis on the baseline right. Got to the rim but missed the shot. R.J. Davis had the rebound but was knocked down, and Ron Groover says that R.J.'s hand, as he braced himself to fall, was on the baseline as he got the rebound. So that'll give the ball back to Lehigh. Tar Heels will sub. Wojcik in, Ryan out. Also, Jalen Withers has entered, and Harrison Ingram going to sit down. So it's Cadeau, Davis, Wojcik, Withers, and Washington, the 5 on the floor for Carolina. 13-12, Tar Heels with the lead. Quick jumper on the inbounds, good from the right baseline by Higgins. Higgins has 7 early points for Lehigh. Cadeau, front court for Carolina to the right elbow. Gets deep in the paint, cut off there, has to send it back out to R.J. Davis. Davis dribbling, sends it back to Cadeau, deep on the left wing. Pitches over to Withers, right back to Cadeau. He's going to try another triple, and that one's well short. Just tipped off the front of the rim. So Lehigh giving Cadeau room to shoot, and he has come up empty pretty severely on both shots as he's waiting back to play defense. R.J. Davis comes up to him, smacks him on the backside, gives him a quick word of encouragement as Baycott will re-enter and Jalen Washington goes out. Lehigh subbing as well. Dominic Carolin comes back in, and J.T. Tan will sit down. 14-13. Lehigh by a point, 13-18 to go in the first half. Coming front side, another new player, Cam Gillis, who just checked in. A freshman from Falls Church, Virginia, has it for Lehigh. High post bounces to Burke Chebahar, also in for the first time. So both teams subbing freely here early in the ballgame. Carolin back to Gillis. Shot clock down to 10. Open look for three, well off the mark by Whitlock. Rebound goes to Jalen Withers. Carolina the other way. Wojcik to a trailing Withers. Quickly right side to Cadeau. They fall way off of him defensively. I mean, Higgins actively stepped back when Cadeau got the ball. Drive by Davis. Out to Withers. Pump fake for three. Drives to the cup and finishes with the left hand through contact. A tough finish by Withers. It's a couple times that we've seen Carolina, some nice drives from up high, finish at the rim. Wojcik defending tightly on Whitlock, left sideline. Tar Heels back up by a point, 15-14. Quick three taken by Lehigh, no good. Armando Baycott and Wojcik both go for the rebound. It belongs to Baycott. Heels pushing it the other way. Bouncing in the post on the right block to Withers. Double team there, out to Cadeau. Cadeau takes a step in, pulls up for the long two, and swishes it home. And if it's not going in from three, take a little couple steps in and knock in a long two-pointer, 17-14. Other way, Gillis and Lehigh, 11:51 to go, first half. Oh, boy, Wojcik gets wiped out trying to get through a screen. Are they going to call that on Wojcik? They are. Ron Gruber's going to call the foul on Paxton Wojcik. as he was trying to fight through a screen defensively. And I think Duke and Carolina would have been proud of that tackle that occurred on the floor, but it will be on Wojcik, his first, and it'll send us to a timeout. 11:49 to go. First half in Chapel Hill. 17 for Carolina, 14 for Lehigh. Tar Heels up 3. It'll be the Mountain Hawks ball after this from their field.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Changes in this one as Carolina and Lehigh have gone back and forth through the first 8+ minutes. Tar Heels lead at 17-14 with 11:49 to go in the first half. Couple of things. First of all, for more than 25 years, Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery has been a pre- and post-game tradition in Chapel Hill. Handcrafted beer, great food and atmosphere as well. It's where Tar Heels come to celebrate. And told you, field hockey advanced in the NCAA tournament. They're moving on to the Final Four, which is in Chapel Hill, by the way. They won today over Harvard 4-2. And men's soccer in overtime, ACC championship game against Clemson. That one's knotted up at 1 apiece. Marcus, 8 minutes, 11 seconds gone by. Heels up 3 so far. What has caught your eye here in the first couple minutes of action?
Again, I think I'm going to talk about the pace. Both of these teams really getting up and down the court, putting a lot of pressure on each other's defenses. And it's just going to come down to who can hold and who can play better defense throughout the rest of this game.
Carolina wants to get Baycott involved. He hasn't scored yet. He does have 6 rebounds. Obviously, he's going to be a big advantage for the Tar Heels anytime they play, but certainly need him to get on the scoreboard. And right now, it's R.J. Davis pacing the Heels with 7. Ingram 4, 2 for Ryan, 2 for Cadeau, 2 for Withers as well. 7 points for Keith Higgins, leading the way for Lehigh thus far. Just the second meeting between these two. The first came back in 1941. Carolina won 62-58. George Glamick, the blind bomber, is number 20, of course, retired in the Smith Center rafters. He had what was then a school record, 33 points that night to lead the Tar Heels to the 4-point win. Lehigh tries to go backdoor. Tar Heels closed it off nicely. Seth Trimble's in the game, by the way, for the first time for Carolina. As Carolin trying to go against Baycott. Shot clock down to 4. Carolin going hard against Baycott. A really tough fall-away hook shot on the baseline. No good. Good defense by Baycott, and he gets his 7th rebound of the game. Meanwhile, Cadeau to Wojcik. In the post, it goes to Withers. Tries to spin baseline. Lost the ball. Recovers. Withers getting deep. His little short turnaround. No good. And the rebound slapped out by Lehigh. Mountain Hawks will have it. Withers got deep, had a good look, just a little too strong on the turnaround from about 7 feet. Lehigh working in the half court. Tar Heels leading by 3, 17-14. Whitlock driving against Wojcik, and Wojcik pushed him. That's going to be 2 on Wojcik. 4th team foul on Carolina. That's going to prompt Cormac Ryan to come check in, and it'll also mean more free throws for Lehigh. So far, each team has taken 2 free throws, each team making their 2 attempts. Carolina's taken 3, 2 of 3. Lehigh's 2 of 2, with 2 more coming from Whitlock. These will be his first attempts of the season. And gets the roll on the first. Back iron, hit the front portion of the rim, hung there, and dropped in. More subs for Lehigh. Joshua Ingram, a freshman, and Ben Konostman, a junior, have both come in for the Patriot League representatives. Second free throw, not as fortunate for Whitlock as that one rattles out. So 17-15, Carolina with the lead in the ball. Cadeau between the legs, drives left of the lane, gets to the rim and flips it in. Tough finish by the youngster. Cadeau has 4. He didn't start the game, but he checked in early and has played ever since. Trimble defending on the wing for Carolina. Whitlock has it on the left wing for Lehigh. Pitches a one-handed pass to Gillis on the right side, guarded by Cadeau. 13 on the shot clock. Lehigh's really milking the shot clock pretty deep, pretty regularly on their defensive efforts. Deep 3 is no good. That was several steps behind the line by Whitlock. Rebound to Carolina. Long pitch ahead to Ryan. Finds Baycott rolling to the rim. Missed it short. Got it back. Give him 2 and the foul. Baycott will have a chance for 3. The foul is on Konostman, his first. So, Marcus, that started with the pitch ahead. Carolina got Lehigh trying to catch up defensively. The long pitch ahead and the quick feed from Ryan to Armando.
Starts with a great defense, making him take a tough shot, tough long three, great rebound, pushing the ball up the court. Cormac Ryan with a great entry pass to Armando. Finishes the deal.
First bucket by Baycott gives Carolina the 6-point lead. Lehigh doesn't have a field goal in 3.5 minutes. Tar Heels trying to get a little bit of separation. They'll get another point there from Baycott on the free throw. And that makes it 22-15. So Baycott converts the 3-point play. Baycott nearly got a steal, jumping in front of Tan, who has re-entered. He hands off to Whitney Sidney, working around a screen. Gets deep, kicks it out to Knosman. Pump fake for three, drives to the elbow, dumps into the post to Tan. Tan, long pass goes in the right corner. Driving in from there and flipping it up no good was Whitney Sidney. A one-handed rip-down rebound by Ingram. He's going coast to coast, pulls up from 13. It spins out, though. Boy, that one was all the way in and then came back out. Still 22-15 Carolina. Lehigh driving to the rim, and the tough finish, no good. Carolina with the board, and then a open court foul. Baycott, that's already 10 rebounds for Baycott. He pitched it ahead to Trimble, who got fouled. R.J. Davis checking in. He'll give Cadeau a break. The foul was on Joshua Ingram of Lehigh, his first. Fourth on the Mountain Hawks. So 5 on the floor for Carolina after the subs. Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, and Armando Baycott. 9:26 to go first half. Carolina 22, Lehigh 15. Davis to Baycott. To Ingram, straight away, pitches quickly right sideline to Trimble. Down low to Baycott. He was about to turn and dunk it, so Tan just had to grab him and pick up the foul. His first, team foul 5 on Lehigh. Carolina took 23 free throws the other night against Radford. So far today, 3 of 4. Inbounds, Baycott has it. He'll send it out to Davis. Thought about the long three. Instead, he's going right back to Baycott. Working hard, gets deep. He's blocked. That's going to be a jump ball. Nice job by Tan to get all ball and tie him up. Possession arrow goes to Lehigh. Baycott made a nice move. It was just a really nice recovery by Tan to block it free. 22-15, 9:04 to go first half. Jalen Sinclair back running the point guard spot for the Mountain Hawks. Long pass over on the right side to Joshua Ingram. He has it tipped away by Trimble, but recovers. Sends it to Tan at the free throw line. Going hard against Baycott. Can't finish. Nothing but white jerseys there for the rebound. It belongs to Cormac Ryan. He'll come front side on the right side for Carolina. Quickly crosses to Davis, to Ingram, back to Baycott. Heels want him to work on Tan. Tan takes a dive. Baycott gets the bucket, and he's going to have another chance for three. Tan was trying to get the second foul called on Baycott. He just kind of crumbled to the ground. And then Baycott went up and under for the bucket, and Tan was all mixed up on his feet after being on the deck. And Baycott will have another chance for the three-point play. Mark, it's not a secret here. Carolina feels like they have advantage in the post at the moment.
Absolutely. There's definitely a lot of size down there, but Armando Baycott definitely with more talent, more ability. Just going to have to keep feeding the big man the ball and get him to the free throw line.
We're going to see Zayden High, but he's going to check in for Baycott, so he's going to wait for the free throw from Armando. That's 2 fouls on Tan and 2 fouls on Moma, so 2 of the big guys for Lehigh in some foul trouble here in the first half. Baycott hits the free throw, so he gets 2 3-point plays during that stretch of action. And he'll take a seat with 8:37 to go, and now Carolina up 10, 25-15. It's an extended 8-0 run over 2 minutes for Carolina. You can stretch that out to a 12-1 spurt over the last 4+ minutes for the Heels. Sinclair. Long pass from the left wing to the right, and Knosman. R.J. Davis closing in on him. Shot clock again, getting near 10 for Lehigh. Hands off on the right sideline to Higgins. Back to Knosman. Drives baseline, runs out of real estate. Long pass out to the left wing, and Sinclair. He'll pitch it into the left corner where a high arcing triple is too strong. Long rebound, run down by Cormac Ryan. A lot of contact as there was a big collision. No foul, and the ball rolls out of bounds off Lehigh. So Carolina will have possession. Cormac Ryan asking Doug Sermons what happened there. He thought he had drawn a foul as multiple bodies slammed into each other going for the board.
Both of these teams playing super aggressive and super hard out here on the basketball court today.
Rebounds 19-9 Carolina. 10 of those 19 by Baycott already. as the Heels have the 10-point lead. Zayden High in there, flips it to Ingram, now to Ryan. Clean look for three, too strong off the back iron. Rebound goes to Lehigh's Henri Adiasa, who is in for the first time. As Lehigh forced to go a little deeper into their bench for big guys with some foul trouble. Ball is loose. Oh, Tar Heels didn't see it. Trimble been looking. I think he could have picked up the loose ball. Instead, it stays with Lehigh. Missed long jump shot. Carolina with the long board. Here comes R.J. Davis in the Heels. Pitches right corner to Trimble. Jab step. Drive. Hangs. Dumps it off to High. Spins. Misses the layup, though. Rebound knocked out by Lehigh. Carolina will have possession. Man, Tar Heels are 43.5% from the floor. They had made their layups. They might be shooting about 55% from the floor. As it is, they have stretched this lead out to 10 thanks to a 12-1 run over the last 5+ minutes. Heels 25, Lehigh 15. Carolina will have the ball when we return. 7:23 to go. First half from Learfield. Go on a 3-minute and 33-second scoring drought. Mountain Hawks 0 of their last 9, 1 of their last 12. That's allowed the Heels to stretch this advantage to 10, 25-15. We're brought to you in part by the Good Feet store. If you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, Good Feet Arch Supports are engineered to support all 4 arches, provide pain relief, balance, and comfort. You can try them for yourself. Book your free fitting today at goodfeet.com. Marcus Ginyard joining me, Jones Angel, here courtside in the Smith Center. Marcus, I mentioned those difficult offensive numbers for Lehigh. 0 of 9, 1 of 12. No points in 3.5 minutes. What are the Tar Heels doing well defensively in your mind?
The Tar Heels are not playing perfect defense, but they're playing hard. They're helping each other. They're scrambling around. They're getting hands up on shots. I just think that their effort right now and their athleticism, obviously, I think that that's really giving Lehigh a lot of trouble and not giving them the looks that they want.
Carolina will break the huddle with Davis, Trimble, Ryan, High, and Ingram. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Tar Heels. Right now, R.J. Davis still leading the way with 7. Baycott has 6. 4 points apiece for Cadeau and Ingram. Ryan and Withers have added 2. Lehigh, 7 points for Higgins, 3 for Sinclair. Nobody else has more than 2 for the Mountain Hawks. Lehigh, last win against a Power 5 opponent came back in 2016. They won at Mississippi State, 87-73. Of course, their last win against an ACC team, a memorable one. Victory over Duke in the 2012 NCAA tournament. Carolina has the ball after the inbound. Ends up to Cormac Ryan on the right sideline. Swipes it down, drives to the free throw line. His jumper comes up a little shy. Rebound belongs to Lehigh. 25-15, still the score. Mountain Hawks drive in. Tough runner is no good. Boy, Ingram almost tipped it in, trying to get the down. It didn't roll in, but then Harrison comes out of there with the ball. He'll come front side. Stops at the three-point line. Pitches over to Davis, and Carolina's going to set up in the half court. High, hands off to Ryan. He'll try another mid-range jumper. That one's nothing but net from about 18 feet straight on.
A great screen by Zayden High at the top of the key, getting Cormac Ryan a good open look.
Ryan had not had a field goal, had a couple of good looks. He had been 0 for 4, but he drops that one in. 27-15, Carolina by 12. 6:32 to go, first half. A lot of movement off the ball for Lehigh. Carolina doing a nice job defending all the action. Higgins, good scorer, drives right of the lane, picks up his dribble, kicks it out to Carolin. Shot clock down to 5. Carolin picks up his dribble. He's in trouble. Shot clock down to 2. Another late shot clock 3 is knocked in by Higgins. That's twice that Carolina has defended until the final second of the shot clock, and Higgins has been able to knock in a tough 3. 27-18. R.J. Davis whips it out to Ingram. Feet set for 3. Off the back iron, no good. Long rebound goes to Lehigh, but then High ties it up, and that'll earn the possession for Carolina. That's just, we hadn't seen a ton of Zayden High yet in his young Tar Heel career, but plays like that, just effort plays, making the smart play, and Saul Sinclair got the rebound, but he was right there to tie him up and earn the possession. Baycott will check in as Trimble goes out, so the Heels get a lot bigger on that switch. They'll have Davis, Ryan, Ingram, High, and Baycott as the 5 on the floor. Tar Heels just 1 of 7 from three-point range so far. R.J. Davis will try and change. Well, right when I said it, right? He gets the pass on the inbounds and drops in the left corner triple. His second 3, he has both of the made 3s for Carolina. 30-18, Tar Heels by 12. Lehigh with the basketball. See if the Heels can get another defensive stop. They've made it tough on the Mountain Hawks here in the last couple minutes. Carolin trying to back in on the freshman high. Ingram swipes in there off the ball to make Carolin back up and now kick it out to Higgins. Shot clock down to 6. Higgins, long pass over on the right side to the freshman Ingram. Drives in, way off the glass, no good. Harrison Ingram with the rebound for Carolina. R.J. Davis, pitch ahead to Ryan. Right back to R.J. 3 ball, you know it. Timeout Lehigh. Boy, what a decision there. 2 veteran players. Davis pass ahead to Ryan. Ryan quickly scoops it back to R.J. Davis, and Marcus right in rhythm. R.J. knocks it in.
Cormac Wrighton didn't even look at the basket, knew exactly where R.J. Davis was ready to give him the ball right in the pocket. R.J. Davis takes care of the rest.
R.J. Davis, he is R.J., isn't it funny, just throughout his career, he has been a guy, when he is on, he is on. And when he's having a tough night, a lot of times it's been hard for him to get out of that. But he is such a hot and cold shooter, and he is 5 of 6 tonight, 3 of 4 from 3. He has 13 points. But remember, last year, he battled that finger injury so much of the season, and when he wasn't hurt, he was on more than when he wasn't. In fact, Marcus, last 5 games last year, RJ shot 52% from 3. Last 6 games in total, he was 53% from the floor. So when he's been healthy, especially later in his career, he's been a bucket.
There's no doubt that he can fill it up. My thing looking at this season is I feel like he's going to have a lot less pressure to score the basketball, and I think that is going to allow him to play a little more free and be the shooter that we know he can be.
That was a really, really fun play to watch there. Cormac Ryan underhanding it back to Davis. So Davis's 3 makes it 33-18. So it's a 15-point Carolina lead. Lehigh takes the timeout. Mountain Hawks coming out of it with the basketball. Higgins in the front court picks up his dribble between the circles, floats a pass still outside the arc to Carolin. Drops it off to the freshman Gillis, who bangs in a triple. Carolina quickly the other direction, 33-21. That's the third, make it 4th three-pointer that Lehigh's made here in the first half. Cormac Ryan scoops a pass to Baycott on the right block. Turns around, his jump shot a little too strong. Long rebound, caroms to the guard Gillis for Lehigh. Mountain Hawks the other way. Dumps it off to Griffin. The smaller Davis defending him, but RJ swipes it away from behind. Into the hands of Harrison Ingram. Like a train to the rim. Lays it in with the left hand. Well, you don't want to get in front of that locomotive. That's a big boy coming at you. And he makes it 35-21. Ingram can move so well for somebody who's 6'7", 235.
And the second time we've seen him score with that left hand as a right-handed basketball player.
Gillis on the perimeter, weaving through some traffic. Sends it over to MoMA. A switch has the smaller Davis on him, but he pitches over to Joshua Ingram. Now to Carolin in the right corner. Finding a cutting Griffin, and high off the glass, able to get the runner to go. Higgins, I think it's at Griffin, as the long pitch ahead pass is too tall for the Tar Heels in a turnover. Higgins is really talented scorer. He has 12, 5 of 8 from the floor, and he is pacing the Mountain Hawks, who have been down by as many as 15, back within 12, and after the Tar Heel turnover, will have it after this break. 3:56 to go in the first half. Carolina 35, Lehigh 23 from Learfield. .356 to go in the first half. Carolina 35, Lehigh 23. A reminder, after the game, we'll have our Best in the Game feature brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. That's our player of the game. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Certainly hoping for a lot of choices tonight. R.J. Davis making a strong case here early with 13. But Marcus also, Zayden Hyde doesn't have a single point yet. But that freshman, every time he's out there, man, he just seems to do something that helps Carolina's cause. And you talked about the little things, and I think he does all of them very well. Things that aren't going to show up on the stat sheet. He sets a great ball screen for Cormac Ryan to get open for a long 2, and then gets a rebound, pulls a rebound away from Lehigh, ends up tying it up, gives us a jump ball, gives us another opportunity to have possession of the basketball. Again, things nobody you're going to see on the stat sheet, but those plays help us win. Had a chance to talk to Zayden at length a couple weeks ago, and he said, I understand the way I can get on the floor this year is just by making those type of plays, is by rebounding, by playing good defense, setting good screens. He said, I want to play, and I realize that's on this team right now how I'm going to do it. And so he certainly understands his role at the moment and is filling it well. Tar Heels come out of the huddle with Davis, Cadeau, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. So that's the 5 on the floor, with Carolina leading 35-23. Lead's been as large as 15, but now it is down to 9 as the 5th three-pointer of the half is made by Lehigh. It was Dominic Carolin, the big man, stepped out and hit that one. So it's 35-26. Lehigh has scored 6 straight points on a couple of threes, and Carolina misses a shot on the other end. Davis couldn't hit the baseline layup. Then Withers gets a steal as Lehigh pitches it ahead the other way, but Lehigh takes away from the Tar Heels trying to pitch it away. There's action all over the place. Carolina has it. Withers driving in right in the lane. His scoop shot won't go. Baycott strip going back up, and there's Withers again to clean it up. Gracious, the action back and forth, and ends up in 2 for the Tar Heels. 37-26. So Withers got the steal defensively and eventually gets the offensive putback on the other side. Carolina by 11, Lehigh with the basketball. Gillis working behind a screen, drifts into the left corner, comes up the sideline, whips a one-handed pass to Higgins, guarded by Withers. Withers does a nice job moving his feet. A long step-back 3. That was not a good shot by Higgins and hit nothing but backboard. I tell you, Withers can really move his feet laterally for a guy who's 6'9". Tar Heels on the offensive side. Harrison Ingram on the right wing. Gets a screen from Baycott. Couple of dribbles. He thought Baycott was rolling to the rim. Baycott couldn't do it because he was being held. Whistle blows, and the foul is on MoMA, and that's his 3rd. And 7th on Lehigh. So that'll be 1-1 for Baycott, and MoMA picks up his 3rd foul. He'll have to sit down with 2:28 to go. And Burke Chebahar, a 6'8 senior, another big guy for Lehigh, coming in for these last couple minutes of the half. 1-1 here for Baycott. Knocks in the first. It is 38-26. Baycott now 8 of 9 on the young season at the free throw line. Shot 66.5% a year ago.
He's going to spend a lot of time at the free throw line, so he's going to want to get that free throw percentage up this season, convert on more of those free throws.
Now, he closed the year strong last year, made 13 of his last 15 at the stripe, and he has started this year well. Now 9 of 10 as he makes both. Ingram out, Davis out, Trimble and Ryan in. So Cadeau, Trimble, Cormac Ryan, Jalen Withers, and Armando Baycott. That'll be the 5 on the floor for Carolina. 2:28 to go. First half, Tar Heels 39, Lehigh 26. Carolina's led by as many as 15, currently a 13-point advantage. Whitlock angling his dribble against Cadeau as he comes front side. 2 young players going at it. Pitches over on the left side. Another three-pointer. Joshua Ingram makes his first 3 of the year. That's 6 threes for Lehigh. They had shot 23% from three-point range in the first 2 games. They've made 6 here in the first half to stay within shouting distance of 10. Withers, kind of a flat-footed jump shot. Boy, that one went all the way in and spun out. Rebound Lehigh, heading the other way. Higgins to a trailing Chebahar, and he makes a 3. So that's the 7th 3 that Lehigh has made this half. They cut it from 13 to 7 on back-to-back triples. 39-32. Cadeau open at the right elbow, no good. And a rebound to Lehigh. Carolina's gone cold here the last few possessions. Can't get some mid-range jump shots to drop. Another three-pointer. Carolin, finally one is off the mark. But Chebahar gets the offensive rebound. Couldn't finish, though. Carolina the other direction. Cadeau battling hard right side. Crossover. Nice bounce pass to Baycott, and he's fouled going up. Boy, Cadeau does something like that almost every game where he gets into traffic and sees something that normal people don't see.
Saw him have a slow start earlier, missing a couple of shots, but he's kind of calmed down a little bit. And as you see right here, just a pass first, point guard, and able to find Armando Baycott and get him back to the free throw line.
Foul on Chebahar, his first. So 2 free throws coming for Baycott. So the first 2 games of the season, Lehigh made 10 total three-pointers. And they've made 7 here in the first half of this one, as Baycott's free throw is good. Again, they came in shooting 23.8% in the first 2 games. They are 7 of 17 so far in the half, and that's kept them within range here. Carolina has led by as many as 15, but it's now 8. And make it 9 as Baycott hits both free throws. 41-32. Baycott now a double-double in the first half. 10 points and 12 rebounds. His 70th double-double of his Carolina career. Second in 2 games this season. Ingram deep on the left wing. Picks up his dribble for Lehigh. Sends it out to Carolin. He'll hand off to Higgins. Keep on calling him Griffin. He weaves his way through. Sends it out to Carolin. Feet set for 3, but short. Withers up in the air. Pulls down the rebound for Carolina. His biggest competition was Baycott. Cadeau, front side, gets in the post to Baycott. Going hard against Carolin. Spins, pumps, elevates, and scores with the left hand. Baycott working hard for 2. 43-32. Lehigh, shot clock off, can hold for the final shot if it chooses to do so. Whitlock, guarded tightly by Cadeau out near the timeline. Cadeau spreading those arms out to make sure he doesn't get a hand check foul. Clock down to 11. Carolin has it now right at the three-point arc, right wing. Couple of dribbles to the top of the key, picks that ball up. Pass tipped away by Trimble. It's loose. Higgins able to recover. Stumbling into the paint. His last second runner is good. Higgins 3 times that half hit shots right before the horn in multiple possessions, and that one gets the Mountain Hawks within 9 at halftime. So Lehigh, 10 made three-pointers in the first 2 games, makes 7 in the first half to stay at least semi-connected to the Heels at the break. 43-34, our halftime score. Tar Heels up by 9 at half. Dave will take you through the Wells Fargo halftime report after this from Learfield. Tar Heels led by as many as 15, but Lehigh went through a stretch of making 5 out of 6 three-pointers. They get it back to within 9 at halftime. We're heading to the second half here in the Smith Center, and that means it's time for the trusted choice of that second half, brought to you by the Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina, who want you to stay safe behind the wheel. Put down your phone while driving, and let's have a hands-free NC. To learn more and find an agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com/go Heels. Marcus, what in your mind will be important for the Heels to trust here in the second half?
I think the Tar Heels need to continue to trust Mr. Double-Double, Armando Baycott. Great first half with 12 points and 12 rebounds. I think they continue to feed the ball inside and use that advantage.
Preseason first-team all-conference, second in ACC preseason player of the year voting. He's been the team MVP either by himself or sharing it with somebody for 3 consecutive years. Coming off a 25-point, 13-rebound game the other night, and Armando, as Marcus told you, 12 and 12 already. His 70th double-double of his Tar Heel career. He will be in the starting lineup in the second half, along with R.J. Davis, Cormac Ryan, Paxton Wojcik, and Harrison Ingram. So again, it's Davis, Ryan, Wojcik, Ingram, Baycott, 5 on the floor for Carolina. Lehigh's going to have the basketball first. There have been a couple tie-ups in this game that have flipped the arrow back and forth. So Lehigh's going to get it first with Carolina up 43-34. And we'll see again, Lehigh made 7 three-pointers in the first half after making 10 the first 2 games of the season. They miss a driving layup by Carolin on the pick and roll to start things off, and Carolina gets the rebound. Tar Heels the other way, going left to right here in the second half as we see it. And it will be R.J. Davis between the rings to set things up. Gets a screen from Baycott to drift to the right side. Looking for Baycott down low. Baycott actually hits the deck as the Tar Heels still out on the perimeter. Davis weaving to the free throw line. Boy, got hit from behind, missed the jumper, got his own rebound. Kicks it out to Harrison Ingram for 3. That's just a hair too strong. Baycott tips the rebound to Ingram. The drive and the dish to Wojcik, and it's blocked away by Chebahar, the reserve big man who's getting the start in the second half for Lehigh. Tar Heels got a bunch of good looks again on that possession, but just couldn't get any of them to go. And then Chebahar cleaned up the last one with a block. Carolin's going to pull up for the long 2, no good. Baycott again cleans the glass. Carolina on the run. Baycott, I believe that was his 15th rebound. As R.J. Davis, a step back 3, no good. Harrison Ingram tips the rebound out to Wojcik. Carolina will reset. Tar Heels working around the perimeter. 15 on the shot clock. Davis, crossover, drive, stops, scores, and draws the foul. He had the bigger Carolin on him and knew what to do. Took him to the rim, gave him a little pump fake to get him airborne, scored, and he'll have a chance for three.
That's that experience of R.J. Davis attacking the basket, knowing he's got to get that big man out of the way, finishing through the contact.
Davis with 15 now. He and Baycott, the two Tar Heels in double figures. That is 15 rebounds for Baycott. He has 12 points, 15 rebounds. Carolina with a plus 13 advantage on the glass, 32-19. So Baycott has nearly half of Carolina's rebounds with 15 of the 32. 18:38 to go as R.J. Davis, percentage-wise, the best free throw shooter in Carolina basketball history, rattles in the freebie to make it 46-34. Carolina back by 12. Largest advantage has been 15 before Lehigh started pouring in threes in the last couple minutes of the first half. Long three-pointer. That one turned right in midair and no good by Higgins. Cormac Ryan, physical rebound between two players. Carolina pushing, ends up in an open jump shot short by Ingram on the baseline. Didn't follow his shot. If he had done so, he had a chance for the offensive board. Just kind of watched it, and it went begging. Lehigh the other way. Whitney Sidney dribbles to the free throw line, drives in, floats it. Whoa, way off the glass. Tough shot there by Tyler Whitney Sidney. Those are his first points of the day. He came in averaging a team best 16. R.J. Davis, quick shot on the other side, no good. Rebound bounces on the deck, picked up by Harrison Ingram. Dishes to Wojcik, back to Ingram. Pump fake for three. Pivots, turns, and I believe he got called for the offensive foul. He did. Shot went in, but won't count as he's called for the charge. Ingram's second and first foul on Carolina this half.
Offense is looking a little disjointed right now.
Yeah, 1 of 7 from the floor here in the half, Marcus.
Doesn't seem like they're really getting the best shot right now, but they are still playing hard, tipping the ball out, getting some offensive rebounds, but going to have to play a little tighter on offense.
46-36, Carolina by 10. As we said, 1 of 7 from the field here in the second half. Higgins guarded by Harrison Ingram. Tar Heels will switch it. As now Gillis has the ball. He'll try a difficult, a tough step back. Harrison Ingram was right there in his face, but Gillis bangs it in. So that's 4 straight for Lehigh, and they're back within 8 at 46-38. Tar Heels trying to get their offense going here in the second half. Baycott at the left elbow. Hands off to a cutting Ryan. Pitches over to Davis. Gets it into Baycott in the post. 1-on-1 with Tan. Spins baseline, and the baby hook off the window for 2.
There it is. Got to trust Mr. Double-Double.
Yep, 14 now for Baycott to go along with 15 rebounds. 48-38. Cadeau and High coming to the scorers table for Carolina. Tyler Whitney Sidney bounces in the post. Pass goes to Chebahar. He does a bounce pass across the lane to Tan, who pushes it off the glass for 2. Baycott looked a little taken aback that pass was completed and didn't challenge the shot.
Surprised not to see him challenge that shot.
Ingram, as there's a foul down low, as Ingram was backing in against, I believe, Chebahar. It was. And that's going to be the second on the senior from Marietta, Georgia, as he and Ingram both crumbled to the ground together. And that's going to put Ingram at the line for 2 shots. He is just 2 of 6 at the free throw line early in his Tar Heel career. 16:25 to go in the second half. Carolina, slow start here to the half, just 2 of 8 from the floor. Meanwhile, Lehigh is 3 of 6 and has made his last 3 shots.
I think Lehigh's doing a great job of just staying around this game.
Ingram short, now 2 of 7 on the season at the free throw line. Cadeau coming in for Wojcik. High is going to replace Ingram if he makes this second free throw. Still 48-40. Tar Heels led by as many as 15. Got whittled down to 9 due to a bunch of three-pointers by Lehigh late in the half. And it's been sitting right here in this 8 to 10-point range in the second half as Ingram's second free throw is good. So he has 7. He will check out and High come in. So Carolina a little smaller now with Davis, Cadeau, Ryan, High, and Baycott. And Carolina's going to pick up with some full-court pressure on the inbounds by the Mountain Hawks. Whitney Sidney still trying to get it in. Eventually he's able to bounce it to JT Tan. And now Carolina will ease up defensively as Gillis taps his head to make the play call. Coming front side on the left. guarded by another freshman, Cadeau. Weaving around a screen, Gillis continues to dribble just in heavy traffic on the perimeter. Ends up in the left corner where a three-pointer is missed by Chebahar. Rebound, Baycott, his 16th. Cadeau the other way to a trailing Baycott. Outside the arc, pitches it deep on the left side to R.J. Davis, now to Cormac Ryan. Ryan dribbles through traffic, gets caught deep, finds Baycott, who muscles it in through the double team. Another tight space pass, that one by Ryan to Baycott, who now has 16 points and 16 rebounds. 51-40, Carolina by 11. Tan has his pass intercepted. He knew he shouldn't have thrown it right when he did, as the pitch ahead by Ryan's tipped and taken right back by Lehigh. They'll try transition three and knock it in by Gillis. Tar Heels had the ball up 11, but Ryan's pitch ahead pass was not free. And turns into the 8th three-pointer of the night for Lehigh. Gillis has 8 points, as R.J. Davis will try and quickly answer it. No good. The rebound tipped into the hands of High. Can't get the stick back to go, but he will get some free throws out of it, as the freshman going to go to the line. Let's see who the foul is on before we go to break. It is on Chebahar, and he's been effective. That's his 3rd personal foul. So Carolina can't quite get away. They've had the lead large majority of this ball game, but Lehigh hanging around. 51-43 the score. Zayden High to the free throw line for 2 shots when we come back. Heels up 8 from their field. Carolina 51, Lehigh 43. Tar Heels have led by as many as 15. They've led a majority of this game, but been hanging in this 8 to 12 kind of point range for a while now, where the Tar Heels can't quite get away. They'll try to add to their advantage at the free throw line. Zayden High will have 2 shots when we get moving again. Broadcast today is presented by Wegmans. Wegmans will be accepting new unwrapped toys and gift cards starting November 24th through December 16th, donated to the UNC Children's Hospital. Participants may drop off their gifts at the Chapel Hill Wegmans service desk. And a reminder that we are brought to you in part by Modelo, proud to support Carolina basketball. Modelo, an official beer of the Tar Heels. And Marcus, again, just Lehigh's only shooting 37%, but Jody Zorgnar, statistician, bringing up a good point during the break. It's as though Lehigh keeps going on these little bursts of offense that are keeping them connected. They've made 4 of their last 5 shots in this go-round just to keep within 8 to 10 points or so of the Heels.
And the longer they stay within striking distance, the more confident this team becomes. And again, we talked about at the beginning of the game, they got some great scorers on this team. And you give this team confidence, they might hang around a little longer than you want.
So Zayden High, these will be his first free throws as a Tar Heel, at least in regular season play. He did have 2 free throws attempts in the exhibition game and made them both. But these will be his first opportunities that'll count here on the season. It comes with 15:04 to go in the second half. And the first one's up and good. The freshman from San Antonio, Texas, had his final year of high school play at a prep school in Arizona, and making his way to Carolina and making both free throws. Tar Heels, as a team, 12 of 14 at the free throw line today, and it's 53-43, Carolina by 10. Davis, Cadeau, Ryan, High, Baycott, 5 on the floor. Gillis trying to drive by Cadeau, stopped right of the lane, circles back out to Carolin. Carolin dribbling on the perimeter, picks up the basketball, eases it back out to Gillis, shot clock down to 8. Sends it over to Whitney Sidney on the right sideline. Shot clock down to 4. He's going to just try another, chuck up 3 at the end of the shot clock, and it goes in. And the Tar Heels turn it over. Cadeau trying to push it ahead, but turns it over. Meanwhile, Gillis almost traveled. He was trying to elevate for a 3. Ryan closed in on him, but Gillis able to kind of pump fake, keep his toes on the ground, and then get the foul as he drove left baseline. Foul on Ryan, his first, and second on Carolina. So that's 9 made three-pointers for Lehigh, made 10 in the first 2 games combined, and they've hit 3 of them as the shot clock has run out on possessions. Meanwhile, the Tar Heels are just 3 of 12 from three-point range in this one. They have not shot the three-pointer particularly well in the first two games, something they feel like will be a better strength for them this year, but not so far. 53-46. Higgins pulls up for the long two and knocks it in, so that means Lehigh has made 6 of its last 7 shots. As there's a foul as Carolina is sprinting front court. A foul on Lehigh. Going to be on Adiasa. His first. And 4th on Lehigh. And the Mountain Hawks are within 5. And this game's 53-48 all of a sudden, with Lehigh shooting well. Carolina will try for a three-pointer. Cormac Ryan off the mark and rebound to Lehigh. Tar Heels continue to struggle from behind the arc, just 3 of 13. Lehigh 9 of 22. 53-48 as an offensive foul for an illegal screen, and that's going to be on Adiasa. So he picks up 2 quick fouls, and that's up to 5 now for Lehigh this half. That'll give it right back to Carolina. Ryan out, Ingram in. Cadeau, Davis, Ingram, High, Baycott, the 5 on the floor. Tar Heels have just 10 points in the first 6 minutes and 10 seconds of this second half. Davis to a cutting Baycott left of the lane against Adiasa, comes up short. And rebound to Lehigh. Mountain Hawks closing off any offensive rebound opportunities here over the last few possessions for Carolina. Tar Heels shooting just 3 of 12 this half. Pulling up in the mid-range for 2 is Whitney Sidney. Drove on Harrison Ingram. It's a one-possession game now as Lehigh on a 7-0 run. They've made their last 4 shots, and another foul on Adiasa as he was wrestling with Baycott in the post. So Adiasa making the most of his 5 fouls. He has picked up 3 here right in a row. That's now 6 on Lehigh. So the next one will put Carolina at the free throw line, which the Heels could use because they're not scoring from the field right now. 3 of 12 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3 this half. Meanwhile, Lehigh a red hot 7 of 11, 2 of 4 from 3.
And the number that really stands out to me right now is only 7 assists with 8 turnovers. North Carolina's got to do a better job of getting the ball to everybody out there on the court and get a better shot.
R.J. Davis drives hard on the angle left side and will draw the shooting foul. That one is on Tan, and that's his 3rd. So now the fouls starting to mount a bit for Lehigh. You've got 3 on Chebahar, 3 on MoMA, 3 on Adiasa, and 3 on Tan as well. And that will put Davis to the line for 2 shots. Carolina does not have a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They do have a point now from the free throw line, and Davis knocks it in to make it 54-50. Carolina shooting 39.5% in the ball game so far. Lehigh is now above 41% due to this hot shooting to start the second half. Both free throws made by Davis, 55-50. Carolina by 5. They've led by as many as 15. But Lehigh has closed it down to as close as 3 since then. Carolin in the front court, the big man outside the arc, to his fellow post player Tan, who's still outside as well. Drops it off to Gillis, doesn't take the 3 behind the screen, instead gives it to Tan at the right elbow. He's pivoting around in a circle, keeping his foot down. Drops it off to Higgins. He misses the floater, and then the rebound stripped away from Lehigh by Carolina. R.J. Davis dribbles all the way into the right corner. Carolina works around the perimeter on the left side. It goes to Ingram. Davis out to Cadeau. Quick pass to Baycott on the low right block. He faces up. Carolin closes in. Baycott goes hard at him. Spins, goes up through contact, and the layup crawls in. Baycott with 18. He and R.J. Davis each with 18 to pace the Tar Heels. Baycott has 16 rebounds in addition to the 18 points. The lead back to 7 for Carolina. Carolin picks up his dribble, in some trouble. Sends it over to Whitney Sidney. He'll drive to the free throw line. His runner short. Rebound tip to Cadeau. Carolina on the run. Cadeau, crossover. Cadeau hangs, has his layup blocked, but there's a foul call. Foul is on Higgins, his first. And the burst of energy from Carolina has stretched the lead back out to 7, with Cadeau going to the free throw line for 2 shots when we come back. 11:55 to play. Second half in at the Smith Center. Tar Heels trying to get going offensively. It's been a rough second half for them in that regard. Have seen their lead all the way from 15 down to 3, back out to 7 with Cadeau at the stripe when we come back. 57-50, 11:55 to go, second half in the Smith Center from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
57, Mountain Hawks 50, 11:55 to go, second half in the Smith Center. We're brought to you in part by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics, believes an inclusive community is a healthy community. Here for the Tar Heels and here for all. Marcus, you mentioned the assist number a little bit ago. Just 7 assists on 20 made field goals. Carolina had 18 assists in the first game. They really felt like the ball movement, the ability to pass, a better strength this year. But R.J. Davis, 0 assists. Elliot Cadeau, 0 assists so far. And I'm just naming some guys. It's not just those guys. But Tar Heels want to get a little more ball movement, some cleaner shots. You saw it on that last possession. Got it into Baycott, gave him space to go to work, and it worked out. But not quite as crisp and effective ball movement as we saw on Monday.
Exactly. Not as crisp as it needs to be. And, again, moving that ball around, letting a lot of guys touch it, gets everybody feeling like they're involved. And it also puts a lot of pressure on the defense. It makes the defense work. And if we can get that ball moving a little bit more, I think we'll have more opportunities to give Armando Baycott more time and space inside. And then, again, getting some good looks outside because of that.
Now, also worth mentioning, Tar Heels have 12 second chance points to 0 for Lehigh, so that's where some of the offense has come from. And, quite honestly, the Heels just haven't shot well, so you're not getting assists when you're not making a bunch of shots. Carolina just 4 of 13 this half, 0 of 4 from 3, and the Heels just 3 of 13 from 3 for the game. That means in the 2 games so far, they are just 10 of 33. From three-point range. They feel like they're going to be a better three-point shooting team than that, but I hadn't seen it so far early in the season. Cadeau, a line drive free throw is no good. He is just 1 of 4 from the line here early in the year. So you've got Ingram 3 of 8, and Cadeau does make the second to be 2 of 5 at the line, but those are a couple guys that you expect will be at the line a lot through the year that want to have a better percentage than that. 58-50, Jalen Withers back in the game for Carolina, defending on the perimeter. He's checking Whitlock right now. Carolin, underhand pass, goes to Sinclair, gets by Harrison Ingram, but can't hit the runner. Falls right into the hands of Baycott to Cadeau. Long pitch ahead to R.J. Davis. Finds a trailing Baycott. He'll hand off to Davis on the perimeter. Kicks it to Cadeau. Looking in the post for Baycott. Nice job by Lehigh to block it off. Heels will reset. Davis has it with 15 on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Baycott. Pulls up for the long 2. Count it. R.J. Davis behind the Baycott screen. Knocks in the long 2 ball to give him 20. 13th time in his Carolina career. He's had 20 or more. 60-50, Carolina by 10. Chebahar, on the drive. Kicks it out. Three-pointer missed by Carolin. Rebound Carolina. Here come the Tar Heels. Cadeau, head up, crossover, explodes, and banks it home for 2. Boy, Cadeau has a different gear. When you see it, all of a sudden he's past you. 62-50. Tar Heels on a 9-0 run. On the right sideline. And finishing tough, Whitlock. Able to score against R.J. Davis, and then a quick timeout taken by Lehigh. That will stretch to a full. So Whitlock stops that 9-0 run and gets Lehigh back within 10. The timeout will stretch to a full. 10 minutes and 35 seconds to play. Second half in at the Smith Center. Carolina 62, Lehigh 52 from Learfield. 10 minutes, 35 seconds to play. Carolina by 10, 62-52. Food Lion, proud to sponsor the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make in today's game, Food Lion Feeds will donate 100 meals to a local area food bank. And that takes us to some stats presented by Lenovo, a global technology leader that has called North Carolina home since 2005. Visit Lenovo.com. Lenovo smarter technology for all. And Marcus, I want to bring up some very specific stats. Carolina, 39-23 rebounding advantage, 26-12 points in the paint, 12-0 second chance points, and at the free throw line, 15 made free throws, just 3 made free throws for Lehigh. So those are a lot of the numbers that you want if you're the Tar Heels. The biggest difference, and the reason Lehigh isn't just being blown out of the building here, 9 made threes for Lehigh compared to just 3 for Carolina, and the Mountain Hawks still shooting 50% here in the second half.
Absolutely. Like you said, a lot of good things for the North Carolina basketball team this afternoon. However, Lehigh is still here. They do have 11 assists, better than North Carolina's 7, but those threes, like you said, are really keeping them in the game.
They made 7 of them in the first half and really got them back in it before halftime. Carolina was up 15, looked like the Heels may run it out, but Lehigh made a stretch of 5 of 6 made three-pointers, got them back within 9 at halftime, and it's set for the most part in this 8 to 12-point range, although Lehigh did get it as low as 3 at one point. Carolina's lead this half. It's currently 10 at 62-52. Now, the Heels also have a bunch of subs out here, so this will be an important stretch. It's Cadeau, Trimble, Withers, Ingram, and Washington. So you've got 4 subs on the floor for the Tar Heels right now. And Lehigh going to a zone look here where you've got Cadeau and Trimble as the 2 guards. And Lehigh playing zone. Trimble drives hard, right of the lane, stop there, backs up. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Cadeau, crossover, jitterbugging around, sends it out to Harrison Ingram. Shot clock down to 4. Ingram spins into the paint, gets to the rim, and finishes with a man-side shot. Boy, Ingram just bullied his way to the cup for 2. 64-52. Carolina by 12. Sinclair walking it front side for Lehigh. Ends up on the left sideline, and Joshua Ingram. He'll try a long 3. Off the mark, Jalen Washington skies for the board. Cadeau, head up, comes front side, pitches ahead to Trimble. Trimble moving quickly. Goes underneath on the baseline. Left corner, Ingram, 3-ball. Yes, sir! Ingram back-to-back big buckets for Carolina. And the Heels have matched their largest lead, 67-52. Timeout Lehigh. Well, Lehigh went to that zone, Marcus. Carolina took a second to figure it out, and then they figured the best option was just give it old number 55.
I don't know if it was the best option, but it worked out for us. And Harrison Ingram just showing his size and versatility, ability to get to the basket and finish. And then next play down the court, showing his ability to stretch the floor and hit that corner 3.
Yeah, that for Carolina, just the 4th made three-pointer, first by Ingram today. So in the 2 games, Ingram now 3 of 8 from three-point range. And, I mean, I think in our limited experience with Coach Davis as the head coach at Carolina, that 4 position being able to shoot, we've seen it when Brady Manick was here, granted at an extraordinarily high level shooting, and we've seen it when the Tar Heels struggled to make outside shots from that 4 position last season. It really does change Carolina's offense and how fluid it feels. And so guys like Ingram and Withers, when he's playing there, their ability to at least keep the defenses honest with their outside ability feels like that'll be important this season.
Absolutely, and there's no doubt Harrison Ingram will be keeping defenses honest from the three-point line.
9:30. Carolina scored on 7 straight possessions to now lead by 15 with 9:37 to go in the second half. Nasir Whitlock guarded by Trimble as he comes front side. Over to Sinclair right at the timeline. Bounces to Momo, who's been battling foul trouble all afternoon for Lehigh. Gets it to Whitlock, and he drives to the ACC logo and pulls up for 2. A couple of nice young freshmen, Gillis and Whitlock, for this Lehigh team. They've got some depth at the guard position with some skilled guys. Washington faces up left baseline. Tries to drive by Moma. Cut off. Has to send it out to Trimble. Swings it over to Cadeau. He'll pull up for 3 off the mark, and nothing but brown jerseys there for the rebound. 67-54. Carolina by 13, but Lehigh with the basketball. Moma driving in, lost the ball, able to recover among a couple Tar Heels. Sends it back out to Whitlock. Whitlock against Trimble, and this time he's denied as Trimble blocks it out of bounds. But Trimble's such a fluid athlete as Cadeau will exit and R.J. Davis comes back in. Trimble able to move his feet, and so athletic. I mean, he gets up as fast as anybody on Carolina's team and blocked it away with the left hand. 8:42 to go, 67-54, Carolina by 13. Lehigh inbounding, baseline right. Still trying to get it in. Finally does to Moma in the right corner. To Sinclair. Down low, it ends up to Moma in heavy traffic, knocked away. Here comes Carolina. R.J. Davis didn't have the numbers. He's going to have to circle back out. Tar Heels were trying to run, but Lehigh did a good job getting back. Davis between the circles. A lot of movement off the ball for the Tar Heels. Ends up to Withers on the left wing. Looking down low, instead goes up high to Washington. Now to Davis, right side. Shot clock down to 12. Whips a pass to Ingram. Back to Davis. RJ, jab step, drive, step back, pull up. You know it. That was a clinic. 22 for Davis. He's 8 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 3 of 3 at the free throw line. 69-54. Heels by 15, matching their largest lead. Chebahar picks up his dribble. Withers closes in on him. Sends it out to Sinclair. A switch has Withers guarding him. The guard for Lehigh, dribbling on the right sideline. Lehigh in no hurry. Shot clock down to 6. Sinclair pivots, forces one up, no good. Good box out. Down low allows Ingram to come down with the rebound for Carolina. He'll drop it off for Davis, and the Heel's going to set up this time in the half court. 7:30 to play second half. Carolina matching its largest lead of 15. R.J. Davis shakes off Ingram, who wanted the pass. Instead, he'll kick it to Trimble. Trimble on the move is hacked as he gets into the paint. He was trying to drive and pitch it into the right corner to Withers and got bodied up for the foul. So, fouls on Sinclair, his first. That is 9 on Lehigh, so Trimble will have a 1-and-1 when we come back. 7:21 to go. Carolina 69, Lehigh 54 from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
7:21 to go, second half. Carolina with the advantage, 69-54. Seth Trimble will be at the free throw line for a 1-and-1 when action resumes. Next foul on Lehigh will be its 10th, so the Tar Heels will have 2 shots the rest of the way. Tonight's broadcast presented in part by Allen Tate Realtors. Whether you're buying, selling, relocating, or seeking financing or insurance, Allen Tate can help. Allen Tate Realtors, the #1 realtor in the Carolinas with more than 70 local offices and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Again, that score on the North Carolina Farm Bureau scoreboard reads Heels 69, Hawks 54. Jones Angel, Marcus Ginyard here with you courtside in at the Smith Center. You've heard from Dave Nathan as well. Ben Alexander, our chief network engineer. Jody Zoigner helping us out with statistical work this evening or this afternoon. And John Essick back in our Tar Heel Sports Network studio. Back in action, our next game broadcast will be basketball again. It is on Friday, Carolina against UC Riverside. That is 8 o'clock here in the Smith Center. Tyler Zeller will join us in the analyst chair for that one. And then, of course, we'll be with you in Death Valley for football against Clemson the next day at 3:30. So another busy weekend coming up for Carolina Athletics. And Marcus, Tar Heels had their lead whittled all the way down to 3. They've outscored Lehigh 16-4 since.
I think it just comes down to being calm, not getting too crazy out there on the basketball court, running your offense. Again, this team is talented enough to win this game if they just do all the things that they're supposed to do, nothing special.
Trimble, a 1-and-1. He was 1 for 2 at the line in the first game this season against Radford. And, boy, that one spins out. Withers, though, fighting hard to keep it alive and tips the rebound to Trimble. Great job by Withers, earning an extra possession for Carolina. Davis, Trimble, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott, the 5 on the floor. Ingram, crossover, backing into the free throw line. Spins, hook shot with the right hand, a little short. Tar Heels, though, battle again for another offensive rebound. This time it's Baycott for 2. Trimble, I think, helped keep that one alive as well as it ended up in Baycott's hands for the Bunny. 71-54. Heels have their largest lead of 17 here with 6:45 to go. Gillis, guarded by Withers on the perimeter, goes in the right corner to Higgins. In the post, Moma. Pump fake gets Trimble up in the air. Moma missed it, but then it was tipped up and in by Carolin as Baycott had rotated over to help. That allowed Carolin the unimpeded putback. Carolina working in the half court other side. 20 seconds on the shot clock. They get it down low to Baycott, free from Carolin for the two-handed flush. Good pass by R.J. Davis to find Baycott. 73-56. Baycott and Davis, the 2 old war horses for the Heels, each have 22 tonight. Higgins against Withers. Drives right side. Withers took it away, but he's going to get called for the foul. First foul on Withers, and just the 3rd on Carolina this half.
Withers did a great job with his feet there, but got a little too active with his hands.
Withers still working his way back in on the practice court. He missed some time right before the season began. So he's still working his way into the rotation. Played 15 minutes the other night and has seen some time off the bench this evening. He's going to be a key part of that Tar Heel rotation this year. The freshman Gillis drives in, bounces out to MoMA, and his jump shot missed from the free throw line. Baycott with the board. Baycott up to 19 rebounds. Tar Heels offensively with a 17-point lead. Get it down low on the left baseline to Ingram. Facing up against MoMA. Ingram spins, elevates, banks it home from the left side. Well, Ingram's had some big-time plays here this half. He's into double figures too, Marcus, with 14.
I just love how he takes his time. Squares up his defender, attacks, and finishes strong.
MoMA can't finish strong against the defense of Withers. That time, Baycott, the outlet to Trimble, hangs in the air and draws the foul. Gracious. Trimble took off and just floated to the rim, and he's going to have a couple free throws as the foul is on JT Tan. I don't think JT Tan's ever seen anybody do that before. Fourth foul on Tan. Rebound by Baycott gives him 20. So he's at 22 points and 20 rebounds. And we're going to stretch to a full timeout here as Baycott, his career high in rebounds is 23. That came against James Madison on November 20th of 2022. This is not a full timeout. This is just a 60-second called timeout by Lehigh. Their last called timeout. So they're out of timeouts. Carolina has 3 here in the second half. So Baycott, again, just 3 off his career high in rebounds. He has 22 points and 20 rebounds tonight. Somebody, Marcus, you're looking in the first 2 games now. Armando total has 47 points and 33 rebounds in the first 2 games this season. That is those are big numbers.
It's absolutely incredible to see what he can do out here on the basketball court. Seems like we're playing NBA 2K or something. I mean, these numbers are crazy.
Well, and he and RJ Davis, each with 22, each are 8 of 14 from the field. Davis is 3 of 6 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, has an assist and 4 rebounds. Baycott, 8 of 14 from the field, 6 of 6 from the stripe, and has those 20 rebounds to go along with the 22 points. So 2 veterans for Carolina, and mix in an older player, even though he's new to Carolina, Harrison Ingram, who has 14 and 7 boards. Those 3 have been the dominant forces today for Carolina. Meanwhile, Seth Trimble, who just went airborne on the fast break. He does things and takes off from places that don't make sense, and he just hung in the air, and he'll have 2 free throws because of it. Missed the first of a 1-on-1 opportunity a minute ago.
Talked about how quick he gets off the ground. If you're not in the building watching it, it's really hard to describe. This guy is extremely explosive.
You heard the first free throw for Seth go in, his first point tonight. Makes it 76-56, and now 77-56. 10 players have played tonight for Carolina. Washington is back in. He has the fewest minutes played of anyone who has played with 6. But he's in now for Baycott as a quick three-pointer is made by Tyler Whitney Sidney. His second three-pointer this half brings Lehigh back within 18 at 77-59. Pressure from the Mountain Hawks in the backcourt. Carolina gets it to Ingram, middle of the floor. Still has time to cross the timeline and does so on his own dribble left side. So Carolina briefly was up by 21. Now leading by 18. Cormac Ryan on the hard drive. Loops a pass to Trimble, who takes the hard contact as he elevates, and he'll go back to the free throw line. Foul is on Tyler Whitney Sidney, his first. And a couple more free throws coming for Trimble. Of course, there was so much talk last couple seasons about Carolina's use of the bench as Trimble's free throw is short. And this will be the second consecutive game that Carolina is going to have 10 or more players, assuming Washington gets to 8 minutes played. He's at 7 right now. That they'll have 10 or more players play 8 or more minutes. Trimble gets the roll on the second free throw. So he's 3 of 5 at the line tonight for all 3 of his points. And it's 78-59 with 4:34 to go. Gillis flips it over to Whitney Sidney. who has 10 points all in the second half. He's going to try to add to that with another three, but it's short. And the putback attempt swatted away by Ingram, out of bounds off Lehigh. Boy, J.T. Tan thought he had a putback opportunity, and Ingram came out of nowhere. It may have hurt him. He also suggested to, quote, get it out as he blocked it away.
Harrison Ingram continuing to show all the different ways where he can impact this basketball game.
I want to tell you something about Ingram. He looks very, like he's got a very, like, happy face, like kind of a young face for how old he is. He will talk out there now. There is no doubt that he is willing to chat with anybody on the court. Tar Heels break the pressure. It turns into a dunk. Cormac Ryan, two hands from the left side. Carolina textbook break the press for the easy flush, 80-59. Good pass by Jalen Washington to help that get started as he threw it from the middle of the floor in the backcourt. Corner triple off the mark, rebound off Lehigh. It goes to Carolina. 3:56 to go. This will be our final timeout of regulation. Tar Heels getting some separation, leading 80-59 with 3:56 to play. Tar Heels have made their last 4 shots. Davis, 22 points. Baycott, 22 and 20. Ingram, 14 points, 7 boards, and a couple of blocks. Tar Heels flexing their muscles here against Lehigh. Plus 21 for Carolina. Final break of regulation from Learfield. Carolina's never necessarily been in danger in this game. They were up by 15 late first half. Lehigh, though, made a spurt late first half, early second half. Got the Tar Heel advantage all the way down to 3. But since that point, the Tar Heels have really grabbed control of this game and stretched it out. Now leading by 21 with 3:56 to go. 80-59 the score. And getting near the end here, Tar Heels have 3 timeouts if they need to use them. Lehigh is out. Foul-wise, Carolina's only been called for 3. Lehigh's been whistled for more than 10, so Tar Heels are in the double bonus as well. Carolina closing in on a 2-0 start, up by 21 with 3:56 to go. Again, some of those individuals, R.J. Davis, 22 points. Armando Baycott, 7th time in his career that he's had a game with 20 or more rebounds, 22 points, 20 rebounds. And then you've got Harrison Ingram, who's really had some big plays here in the second half, 14 points and 7 boards for him. Meanwhile, Lehigh, Higgins has 16. He had 14 in the first half. Tar Heels have done a good job limiting his productivity in the second half. Whitney Sidney, that's Tyler Whitney Sidney, has 10 points all this half, but those have come on 13 shots. So Tar Heels will have the ball with the lead, and they've gone to the bench some. It is Cadeau, Trimble, Ryan, High, and Washington. As Carolina breaks the pressure to Washington, tried to find a cutting Trimble on the baseline. The pass was errant and taken away by Lehigh. And driving on the baseline, kicking it out in the corner, and a three-pointer made by Chebahar. That's his second made 3 today. Carolina again breaks the pressure. High gets it to Trimble. So that 3 makes it 80-62 with 3:21 to go. Trimble drives, leaves it for Washington. Give him 2 in the foul. Boy, nice job by Trimble. Went down the right baseline, left it for Jalen, who finished through the contact, and he'll have a chance for 3. His first bucket tonight. 82-62. Free throw coming. Cormac Ryan will check out, and Paxton Wojcik comes back in. The foul was on Joshua Ingram, his second. Trimble's had a nice game today off the bench.
I love the way that he contributes to this basketball team. You saw him using his explosiveness. Great drive baseline, easy dumped off to Jalen Washington for the finish.
He has 3 assists. That's tied for the team high as an individual. Washington strips the net on the free throw. 83-62. Now, Carolina does not have as many walk-ons or deep reserves this year. Really only Creighton Lebo, Dewey Ferris, Rob Landry I would put into that category. So even when they go some to their bench, it's still guys that you may see regularly as a missed shot and rebound pulled down by Zayden High way up in the air. Cadeau, front court with 2:55 to go. Washington trying to get position down low, nothing there, so the Heels working around the perimeter. Back to Cadeau. They leave him alone. He'll pull up for the long 2. It's too strong off the back iron. Cadeau just 3 of 8, but gets the ball right back. Took it away. sprinting down the right side. He'll slow it up to Wojcik. Pump fake for three. Right back to Cadeau. Drives hard, leaves it for Washington. Boy, he just gets pulled down from behind. That's going to be an intentional foul, and it's deserved as Sinclair just grabbed Washington around the neck from behind and pulled him down. Dangerous play there by Sinclair, and that's going to give Washington a couple free throws, and Carolina will have the basketball. Okonkwo, the West Virginia transfer, going to check in for the Heels in just a moment. First free throw for Washington is good. And look, you knew how nice a guy Jalen Washington was. You'd never foul him on purpose like that. He's about as friendly as a gentleman as is on Carolina's team. And really high talent, high ceiling young player. Remember, he's really, as he makes both free throws, and he is going to come out for Okonkwo. I mean, remember, Jalen Washington, this was his first off season in years that he has had healthy to be able to just work on his game and his body and not have to rehab. So he's a sophomore, but still young in his development. I'm telling you, he has got such potential for the Tar Heels. Paxton Wojcik, jump stop, a dramatic one as he drives in from the left side, kicks it back out to Trimble, now to Okonkwo. Shot clock down to 7. Cadeau has it now. It's 85-62. Cadeau, the drive. Oh, bounce pass to Okonkwo. Couldn't handle it, and it ends up to be a turnover. That was a beautiful pass by Cadeau. Okonkwo just couldn't quite squeeze it. Lehigh's made some deep subs off their bench as they missed three-pointer. Rebound tipped out by Wojcik, but he's going to be called for the foul. Wojcik, his third. Been a frustrating day for Wojcik. He's been in foul trouble a lot and just hadn't been able to get into much of the action this afternoon. Told you a couple of subs out there, a little deeper on the bench for Lehigh. Ben Konostman, who did play a little bit in the first half, is out there. Jason Seigel, a senior from Scarsdale, New York, is out for the first time. Here comes Tommy Conniff, a sophomore from Summit, New Jersey. He'll be into the action for the first time this season for Lehigh as well. Henri Adiasa, who almost set the record for fouls per minute in his performance earlier this half, where he got called for 3 fouls in about 60 seconds, has checked in too for Lehigh. Here comes Creighton Lebo. He's at the scorers table for Carolina. So next dead ball, he'll come in. 85-62, Carolina by 23 with less than 2 minutes to go. Hard drive from the perimeter, but an air ball on the runner for Whitlock. Rebound to Zayden High. He'll pitch it to Cadeau in the right corner to Wojcik. Feet set for three, in and out. Man, that one did a lap around the inside of the rim and spun out. Long pitch ahead to Conniff and misses the hook shot. Wojcik wrestles the rebound away. Head up as he comes front side on the right. Wojcik just going coast to coast, and he got fouled. Wojcik, Cadeau was ahead of him. He just didn't seem like he had any interest in passing that ball that time. He wanted to get to the rim, and he's going to get a couple free throws out of it.
So it's been a tough night for him, but there's no doubt he's been giving the effort. He's been playing tough. He's been playing hard.
Here comes Rob Landry, Dewey Ferris to join Lebo at the scorers table, so they'll check in after this first free throw by Wojcik. Wojcik, 69% shooter a year ago. These will be his first free throws in a regulation game for Carolina. The left-hander gets the roll. And here come the subs for the Tar Heels. Cadeau will go out, as will Zayden High. So Carolina's going to have Trimble. Well, Wojcik's just staying until if he makes his free throw, then Lebo will check in for him, and that will happen as the free throw goes. So Wojcik gets 2 points out there. So it's Lebo, Landry, Ferris, Trimble, and Okonkwo. The 5 on the floor for Carolina. Tar Heels leading 87-62 with 1:20 to go. Three-pointer taken from the left side and knocked in. That is Brandon Reed, who just checked in. Played in 8 games last year for Lehigh. Gets a three-pointer to go. 87-65. Lehigh has made more threes this game, 12, than it had in the first 2 games combined when it made 10. Oh, Dewey Ferris spinning to the cup and then has his shot blocked, though, at the rim. It was a nice move. He just didn't quite finish.
I like him taking it to the basket like that anyway.
Yeah, shoot, this time in the ball game as the three-pointer missed. Strong rebound by Rob Landry up in the air, weak side. He'll push it front court, protecting the ball. Rob's going to fire one from 3. Oh, he banked it in. Center square for 3.
Banks open on Sunday here in Chapel Hill.
90-65 as a three-pointer on the other side. That's by Jason Seigel. So some of these deep reserves for both sides raining in the long ball. 90-68. Rob Landry and Brandon Reed for Lehigh are kind of laughing with each other as they've both knocked in some threes. Lebo, the scoop, can't finish. Oh, Okonkwo almost had a tomahawk putback dunk, but got pinned on the rim. Tar Heels will have possession as it goes out. Coach Davis says, hey, let's ease up and just dribble it out. 90-68. Rob Landry, the three-point sniper, inbounds it to Trimble, and he will indeed dribble out the clock. So Carolina led by 15 in the first half. Strong comeback by Lehigh, thanks to some hot shooting, got them back within 3, but the Tar Heels stretch it all the way out to as large as a 25-point lead and end up winning it by 22 tonight in the Smith Center. A 22-point, 20-rebound effort for Baycott, 22 points for Davis, 14 for Ingram. Those three lead the way as Carolina advances to 2-0 on the season. Lehigh, competitive. They've had a tough start to the year. They fall to 0-3, including road losses at Penn State and now at Carolina. Tar Heels improved to 2-0, and we're going to the Coke postgame report. Dave and Marcus will take you through that. I'll head to the back, get a word with Coach Davis. Adam Lucas will catch up with a Tar Heel player as well. 90-68, our final in the Smith Center. Great football win last night. Quick turnaround to a solid Tar Heel basketball victory today as well. Great weekend in Chapel Hill. Tar Heels win it by 22 from Learfield.
Attention Tar Heel fans, if you've had any alcohol as a part of your game day activities, make sure you don't get behind the wheel. There are more ways than ever to get home safely. Call a friend, a cab, take a bus, or app your ride. Carolina gets safely into the win column for the second time this year, defeating Lehigh 90-68. Dave Nathan saying hello from the Coca-Cola post-game report. Jones will be hunting an interview with Coach Davis momentarily. We also expect to hear from Armando Baycott and, of course, Marcus Ginyard, who was on the call of today's game. Well, Marcus, to take a look at some of the storylines we discussed in pregame and now in the aftermath, Lehigh had been really good on the glass in its first two games. Carolina obliterated the Mountain Hawks on the boards 52-31. We talked about getting tempo started on the defensive end. The rebounding battle, a clear victory today for Carolina.
Well, you said it. I think it's just the things that North Carolina knew they needed to do were just typical North Carolina basketball things, like out-rebounding their opponents. Armando Baycott obviously leading the way there with 20 rebounds to go along with his 22 points, but I just think it was a group effort that they just sustained their effort throughout the game and really just didn't give Lehigh a chance to finish off that run that they were trying to make.
Yeah, you can start the rebounding battle and then finish it with the Tar Heels outscoring the Mountain Hawks 17-3 on the break. It was a 14-2 advantage for Carolina and second chance opportunities, 38-16 in the paint. And then, despite the fact that Lehigh made a couple of good runs both in the first and second halves, the Mountain Hawks only shot 36.6% from the game. Didn't shoot better than 39% in either half. This felt like collectively a better effort on that side of the floor for Carolina than the opener against Radford.
Well, I think credit North Carolina defense for just the effort that they gave throughout the entire game. But, again, that's something that they're going to want to continue to do throughout this season is force their opponents to shoot less than 42%, I think, is kind of the number that Coach Davis is looking for. But that pressure defensively and really getting Lehigh uncomfortable was a huge factor in today's game.
To be fair to Lehigh, Mountain Hawks hit some shots. Keith Higgins feels like he could be a player at a lot of different levels. He was 7 of 13 for 16 points. And again, you know this game better than I do. And for what you brought defensively on the floor, sometimes you've just got to say the other guy made some shots and defensively your team did everything right.
I think you got to give him a lot of credit. He made a lot of tough shots. Of course, I think there was one or two open looks for him, but really made a lot of tough shots. I remember the one finishing off the first half over 3 people, So give him a ton of credit. He's a tough competitor, as a lot of guys on that Lehigh basketball team. But again, he made tough shots, and those are the ones that you can live with as a defense. If you're forcing them into low percentage shots, that's really all you can do. You got to live with the outcome, whether they make or miss it.
Carolina holds Lehigh to 26 of 71 shooting for the game. Conversely, the Tar Heels knocked down 31 of 67. The Heels only 5 of 17 from three-point land. The Mountain Hawks stayed in the game via the three-point shot, where they were 13 out of 33. Getting to the free throw line, Marcus, that's another big deal for Carolina. You want to make more than your opponent's attempt, and the Tar Heels 23 out of 28 from the stripe to the Mountain Hawks 3 out of 4. Carolina just wasn't in a position to commit a bunch of fouls today. I think it was just 4 team fouls in the first half and 4 in the second half, and that gets us through 40 minutes of basketball.
I mean, that is an incredible difference when you look at that. 23 made free throws to their 4 attempted. Credit Armando Bacot, obviously, getting to the line. R.J. Davis has 3 free throws as well. A lot of guys. Jalen Washington's got 3 free throws. Trimble's got 3 free throws, just all the way down the line. That's something that this North Carolina basketball team definitely has to take care of. They're going to play physical basketball. They're going to be on the free throw line. They got to make sure that they put those free throws in.
While we're talking about free throws, we've got another 2,300 meals donated to a local area food bank through Food Line Feeds Score to Give More program as Carolina beats Lehigh. Just the second ever meeting between these two programs, 90-68. And then just the overall balance of what Carolina was able to do on the offensive side of things, with Bacot and Davis leading the way with 22 points. Harrison Ingram, another very balanced afternoon, 14 points, 7 rebounds, had an assist, just super aggressive on both ends of the floor. And then you had a bunch of really good complementary performances tossed in. Everybody, Marcus, got a chance to do something, and I know that makes the staff happy, it makes the players happy, and it should make the fans excited.
Absolutely. We're going to see a lot of different players contribute in a lot of different ways. Some are going to do more in some games than others, but the fact that everybody did something positive today, as you mentioned, you can even go down the line, look at Seth Trimble, who had 3 assists, ties for the lead of the team in terms of assists. Cormac Ryan also had 3 assists. I mean, everybody's doing something positive out there on the court, and I think that the coaching staff and, to your point, the fans and everybody around feels really, really good about that when everybody's getting involved.
That's Marcus Ginyard. I'm Dave Nathan. This is the Coca-Cola Post-Game Report. We'll press the pause button, but only for a moment. We'll come back and hope to catch up with Jones and Coach Davis in the Continental Tire Coaches Corner. Again, our final score today from the Smith Center, Carolina 90, Lehigh 68 from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball. Our post-game coverage continues with the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show. Ford F-150, what legends are made of. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. This is the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show.
For 25 years, Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery has been a pre- and post-game tradition. Handcrafted beer, great food, and atmosphere where Tar Heels come to celebrate. Marcus Ginyard, I don't suppose you could find Top of the Hill on a map around these parts, could you?
I certainly can.
Well, there is some celebrating going on at Top of the Hill. Some of it might still be from last night and early this morning with that football win over Duke, 47-45 in double overtime. Of course, the more recent additions to Top of the Hill celebrating Carolina's basketball win today over Lehigh, 90-68. Again, we're waiting to hear from Coach and Jones in the Continental Tire Coaches Corner. While we continue to wait, let's run through some more stats. Marcus, I got to be honest, I'm stunned to see that Elliot Cadeau didn't have any assists, because it felt like every time we looked up, he was dropping a pass between a spot on the floor that didn't exist to find a teammate close to the basket.
Well, there was a lot of times down there in the paint where we just didn't finish. I think he finishes with a couple more assists if we could just finish around the rim. But, one thing that I would like to point out is, Elliot Cadeau missing a shot here in the second half towards the top of the key and just sprinting back on defense, getting in the way and coming up with a steal. I think that ends up with us scoring. Just his grit, his competitiveness. I think that's something that stands out to me even more than his incredible athletic ability and his incredible passing ability.
What's it like to play with somebody when no matter where you are on the floor, and you might not even think that you're open, you've got a guy with his kind of skills that will find a way to get you the ball in a position to score?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. Sometimes you don't even think you're open, but it just takes one time of getting hit in the face with a basketball when you start to look for it. And I think that Elliot Cadeau is one of those players that's just going to really work hard to find his teammates out there on the court, and it creates such an incredible connection with you and the point guard, and it just makes you more excited to be out there on the court knowing that somebody's really out there focused on trying to get you in a position to score.
Seth Trimble, Cormac Ryan did lead the Tar Heels with 3 assists, and for Trimble, he only took 1 shot. He made 3 free throws and also had a rebound in 19 minutes of play, but no surprise having seen him play last year. The impact that he makes defensively brings a different energy to whoever else is on the floor.
There's no question about it. And, you know, thinking about my time here at North Carolina and the way that, you know, I tried to play defense, I really just love his effort, his ability to kind of take on that role and really just put 100% effort on defense. But then you look at, he's got 3 assists as well today. You know, he's drawing fouls, he's attacking the basket. And I think just being an active player out there and just trying to make the smart play, I think that those things really, again, those make the difference.
Marcus, I know it's still early on in the year, but to take a look at who played how many minutes, nobody played more than 30. And for the last couple of years, it felt like you'd have at least 5 guys playing 30 or more minutes almost every single game. What does that do to keep some tread on the tire for a player as the season goes on? And maybe more importantly, what does it do in-game to ensure that players are able to give their maximum amount of effort in a confined space of time?
I think that's exactly what it's about. You know, how can you get out there on the court and give everything that you possibly can in a short spurt, come out and let some other guys get out there, make some positive impacts, and then come back in the game and give that effort again. And, you know, when you're playing 35, 40 minutes a game, it's difficult to be, you know, at a high level every single possession. And so I think that, you know, sharing the minutes the way that we're looking at them tonight, I think that just says a lot about this Carolina basketball team and their depth, and I think it's going to keep guys fresher longer throughout this season. And it's also going to give a lot of guys a lot of looks, you know, throughout the season to really grow and develop as players.
The Tar Heels beat the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh 90-68 here in the Smith Center today to improve to 2-0. UC Riverside coming up on Friday. Then it's off to Atlantis. There's the ACC-SEC Challenge beginning this year. Tennessee will be in town at the end of the month to take on Carolina. Marcus, you've got these 3 games that will group together before you play the next 3, and then all of a sudden it feels like big-time competition for the remainder of the schedule. What do the experienced players on this team need to tell some of the younger guys about the importance of now and as you get into some of these really upper-tier competitive games coming up?
You know, it's crazy. You've been taking the words right out of my mouth. The importance of now. You know, this game today, you know, you're looking at, okay, it's Lehigh versus North Carolina. North Carolina's supposed to win. Yada, yada, yada. But ultimately, this is a chance for this team to have live action, to get better, to grow as a team. And all of these games count because this North Carolina basketball team is going to get tested early. You talked about the Battle of Atlantis coming up soon. There's some big-time basketball that's going to be played there, and they're going to be playing against Kentucky. I mean, these games matter. This is when they can really, you know, I think grow as a team. You know, obviously practice is important, but these games are times where you're going to see things that you might not even be practicing. And so this is important. And I think that that's what these older guys really need to talk to these younger guys about. And that's why it's great that we have Cormac Ryan and Paxton Wojcik and some of these older guys on the team that are new to the team, but older in experience, because these things are important moving forward throughout the season.
Yeah, it's a good thing that you bring that up because once upon a time ago, you were the elder statesman on some of your teams. What kind of a role did you want to have when you were a 4th or 5th year guy and trying to help some of these other folks find their way?
I think really just trying to show them the way. You know, we were very, very lucky. You know, my class that I came in with, we were lucky to have great leadership and guys like David Noel and Wes Miller. And so it was important to me to try to fill that same role and to really not only just give knowledge, but, you know, really support the younger players and just try to prepare them for what they were going to see throughout their career here in North Carolina.
Carolina wins 90-68 this afternoon against Lehigh to improve to 2-0. The Mountain Hawks fall to 0-3. And again, it's been a tough start, at least schedule-wise, for Lehigh, playing 2 games in roughly 3 days against Power 5 competition. And again, that's the kind of competition that the Tar Heels will start to face once they get to Atlantis, with Northern Iowa first upon the schedule. And then I think it's either Texas Tech or Villanova. Then we'll see who the Tar Heels get in that 3rd game. And then the gauntlet of number 9 Tennessee, Florida State, number 6 UConn, number 16 Kentucky, Oklahoma. Marcus Coach Williams used to say he would schedule based on what kind of a team he thought he was going to have, and if Coach Davis subscribes to that same theory, he must think he's got a pretty good team this year.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with him. I think he's got a phenomenal team. He's got the potential to have a phenomenal team. Right now, there's no trophies getting handed out right now here in November. But, when I look at this roster, when I watch this basketball team play, there's no doubt that they have all the pieces that's necessary. To have a very successful season. It's just going to come down to, does this team stay together? How do they battle through adversity? Do they stay healthy? All the things that can happen throughout the season. But there's no doubt that they have the bones for a phenomenal season ahead of them.
So far, so good for the Tar Heels, 2-0 on the year. We're still waiting to hear from Coach Davis in the Continental Tire Coaches Corner, so we'll let the drama continue to build here as we take another timeout. This is the Coca-Cola postgame report from Learfield.
Back inside the Smith Center, Carolina gets a 90-68 victory over Lehigh this afternoon to improve to 2-0. And I'm inside the Continental Tire Coaches Corner alongside the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. Coach, I think a lot of numbers on the stat sheet that I'm guessing you like. 38-16 advantage in the paint, 14-2 second chance points, 17-3 fast break opportunity, you're plus 20 and made free throws as well. A lot of things that feels like when those things happen, your team does well.
Yeah, I was really proud of them on both ends of the floor, but really, defensively, when you talk about Lehigh, like one, they're good, and the way that they move without the basketball, just a lot of screening and cutting, and you got a lot of communication that has to be out there on the floor. Plus, they go, they go for about 20, 25 seconds every possession. So not only do you have to play sound defense, you have to play sound defense for a long time and be disciplined. And I just felt like this is good for us moving forward. I thought we did a really good job of that, especially in the second half. We made the missed shots. And then if we can, get the rebound, then we get out in transition, we can go. Offensively, we got points in the paint. I thought the thing from an offensive standpoint that was really good is, especially in the second half, we attacked the basket through post penetration, offensive rebound, which led us to get into the penalty and get to the free throw line. And we shot the ball really well from the free throw line. So that's a reason why you can go 5 of 17 and not really shoot the ball well from three and still be able to score 90 points. That's good basketball for both of us.
Lehigh kind of whittled away you had a 15-point lead at one point. They cut it all the way down to 3, and then it seemed like your team just, I don't want to say flipped a switch, but they really started going at them.
No, we did. We got multiple stops, and then we started to score in transition, and in transition we're pretty good. And I thought during that stretch, not only when they cut it to 3 did we execute, I thought we had poise. We didn't panic, and we just got back to the things that we've been told and taught on both ends of the floor and things that we have to do consistently. And so that's a sign of a good basketball team that can respond in those situations and be able to come out with a win.
So many new pieces on your team this year, but 2 guys we've seen a bunch from through their careers, 22 points, RJ, and then 22 and 20 from Armando Bacot, just dominant performances from them.
Yeah, RJ is amazing. It's nice to be a coach and say that guy's on my team. It really is. I mean, the luxury of having him out there on the floor the last 4 years has just been an honor and a blessing. He's just not only is he good, he just energizes and gives life to the entire team, and he has an ability to give us what we need. So if we distributing, he'll give you that, defense and rebounding. He'll give you that. We need some scoring. He'd go out there and knock it down from 3. And so, Armando, he had another 20-20 game. This is what is required and what is needed of him every game. He is our guy, and we want to establish him down low in the paint, and you really did a good job of that today.
Coach, you have one more home game coming up on Friday. Then you make the trip to the Bahamas, and not that your schedule has not been difficult because you faced 2 good teams so far, but it really ramps up. What is your goal here over the next week or so as you continue to head towards those really difficult games?
Well, one of the things that I like about this is it gives us a chance to work on us. When you're in those tournaments, the back-to-back games, you're you're in preparation mode and scouting, and you don't really get to, have time to work on us as a team. And so, this week leading up to our game on Friday, it gives us time to grow as a team and look at this tape. And after the game, I told them, a mistake is good if you can recognize it, admit it, learn from it, and grow from it. And so that's what we need to do this week in order to prepare ourselves for Friday and just moving forward.
That's UC Riverside on Friday at 8 o'clock. Then the Heels heading to the Bahamas after that. But for today, it is a 90-68 victory here in the Smith Center. Coach, congratulations. Look forward to talking with you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
That's Hubert Davis, guys, inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. After Carolina wins 90-68 over Lehigh to improve to 2-0. Marcus Ginyard joining me, Jones Angel. We're going to finish up our part, and then Dave will take you the rest of the way home after the Heels get the victory. And, it really felt like, we said this kind of late in the game, it never felt like Carolina was in danger necessarily this afternoon. Tar Heels got out to a 15-point lead late first half, but give Lehigh credit. Then they came back with some hot shooting late first half, and Carolina came out of the locker room a little sluggish. Lehigh went on a 16-7 spurt early in the second half, and all of a sudden it was a 3-point game. But from that point forward, the Tar Heels really dominated. They went on a 9-0 run. At one point, they scored 15 out of 16 trips and just controlled the action the rest of the way and ended up winning this one by a comfortable margin of 22 to improve to 2-0. And coming up in just a minute, you're going to hear a conversation Adam Lucas had just a few minutes ago in the back with Armando Bacot, who had the 22 points and 20 rebounds. And by the way, hard when you put up those numbers for anybody else to get that Old Dominion Best in the Game feature, our player of the game. Brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best and theirs. And a reminder, our coverage all afternoon today was presented by Wegmans. And a reminder that Wegmans will be accepting new unwrapped toys and gift cards starting November 24th through December 16th. These can be, eventually they'll be donated to the UNC Children's Hospital. And if you'd like to join that conversation, participants may drop off their gifts at the Chapel Hill Wegmans service desk. And go Heels. Okay, let's finish things up here before Dave wraps things up on the Coke postgame report. Marcus, I know you and Dave have talked a long time waiting to hear from Coach Davis, but it felt like, just a lot of things Carolina wants to do, it did. And that was score in the paint, that is second chance points, that's fast break points, that's play really good defense. And Carolina added all that up to against a game and good, I think, Lehigh team, a team that's going to compete in its conference, and yet the Tar Heels end up winning it pretty comfortably this afternoon.
Definitely, and, Coach Davis talked about it in his interview. This is not a bad Lehigh team. This team is very competitive. I think they will do great in their league, and, North Carolina did all the things, like you said, they wanted to do. I think defensively, holding Lehigh to 7 of their last 25 field goals.
Yeah.
I think that, you talked about them getting kind of kicked into gear in the second half. I think that, that's a huge victory in itself for this North Carolina basketball team to be playing defense like that.
Yeah, it feels like, and look, we both understand Tar Heels are going to play better teams than Radford and Lehigh, but I do think they are two quality mid-major teams that the Tar Heels have played. It just feels like, to me, Marcus, Carolina's going to be able to score. They've got a lot of opportunities. There's going to be some nights that are better than others, of course. It feels to me like the defense is going to decide if Carolina's a really good team this year or a pretty good team this year.
Are we talking about Carolina football or Carolina basketball?
Well, we could that's probably a conversation we could have on multiple days, right?
No, I think you're right. I think that the defense is got to be the driving factor here. It's got to start on defense. That kickstarts your transition. That gets you feeling comfortable and confident. And obviously, like you said, they're going to be playing better teams. They're going to have to find a way to kind of really lock down as a collective unit on defense and really make that their bread and butter, which then leads to the fast breaks and the ability to Armando Bacot to get into the lane, getting RJ Davis open in transition and knocking down shots and all those other great things that come. But I really do believe that the bread and butter has to be their defense.
So Tar Heels win it this afternoon, 90-68. Again, it's Bacot with 22 points and 20 rebounds. You have RJ Davis with 22 points and Harrison Ingram, who for the second game in a row, came in some big moments in the second half. He made some big shots against Radford, did so again today, and aids Carolina to the victory. He ended up with 14 points, 7 boards, an assist, and a block as well. All right, let's get you set for the week because we've got a lot coming up here. Tomorrow night, we'll be at Top of the Hill Restaurant, 7 o'clock. We'll be there with Coach Brown talking about that dramatic victory over Duke in double overtime in football. So looking forward to that. Hope you can join us in person or on the radio. Again, 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Top of the Hill. Then we're back here in the Smith Center Friday night. Tyler Zeller going to be our analyst for that game, and Z and I will be here at 7 o'clock, Carolina and UC Riverside. That's an 8 o'clock tip. We're on the air at 7 p.m. with our pregame show. Then we're heading down to Death Valley with football. That'll be a 3:30 kick on Saturday afternoon. We'll be on the air. Brian Simmons, Lee Pace, and I will be there with you at 2:30 for Carolina and the Tigers. Clemson, just in time for the Tar Heels to get there playing some really good football. They've won their last 2 in convincing fashion over Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. But for now, we're going to take a timeout. Come back. Marcus, by the way, great job. Looking forward to working with you all year long. And any final thoughts from you before we get out of here? Just a solid afternoon, I thought, for Carolina.
Like you said, solid afternoon. I think we're moving in the right direction. Just got to continue this throughout the season and hope we're getting better every day. 90-68, the final. We'll take a timeout. Dave will get you back out of this break. You'll hear from Armando Baycott, and we'll wrap things up here from the Smith Center. Heels win by 22 from Learfield.
Carolina basketball has been brought to you by Coca-Cola. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Take a taste. And by Hunt Brothers Pizza, the official pizza of Carolina Athletics. This is the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show.
Fans, if you find yourself in need of legal defense for a traffic violation, iTicket.law can be hired to defend you 24 hours a day. Born in Chapel Hill with traffic attorneys statewide, visit iTicket.law to learn more. Carolina beats Lehigh 90-68, and in doing so, Armando Baycott had a 2020 game. It's the 26th in recorded UNC history. That's according to Jody Zorgner, and it's Baycott's third. Only Billy Cunningham and Lenny Rosenbluth have had more. Kangaroo Kid had 8. And Lenny Rosenbluth had 5. So with Armando Baycott making headlines, we thought it might be a good idea to catch up with him in the Carolina locker room. Adam Lucas speaking to the Tar Heel fifth-year senior.
Alongside Armando Baycott after Carolina's 90-60 win over Lehigh. Tar Heels now 2-0. Armando with a couple of 2-0s, a 22-point, 20-rebound game. Armando, that's the third of your career. What enabled you to do it this afternoon?
Well, I missed a lot of shots, and my teammate missed a lot of shots, so I got a lot of offensive boards. But, I mean, it was just all-out effort. Harrison and all the guards did a great job of boxing out, so a lot of easy defensive rebounds for me, and obviously I got a few offensive rebounds too.
They were a little hot from 3 early, and you guys just kind of kept plugging along, hitting some 2s, and slowly stretching out the lead. When the other team's making a lot of 3s, how do you stay with the game plan and do what you know you're good at doing?
Like you said, just staying with the game plan. A team like that, they play really slow, and we got to guard actions for 25 seconds or more. I mean, really, that game was great for us, too, just preparing us deeper in the ACC play. You know, UVA play, and they like to play slow. So just having the discipline to stick it out the whole game and just trusting our principles and end up working in the end. So it was a huge game for us.
Even though they did want to play slow, you had 17 fast break points, and you looked like a gazelle out there in the second half. You still look fresh, getting the dunk, getting up on the rim some. How were you able to run even on a day when the opponent really didn't want to?
Yeah, I mean, that's just been our brand of basketball we want to play all year, just running, getting out on the break, and that's something that Coach emphasized at halftime, is just trying to run and get deep post catches, try to get their bigs in foul trouble, and just try to get easy layups and easy kick-out threes.
What'd you do better defensively in the second half against what they were trying to do offensively?
I would say the bigs, we made more of an emphasis of getting higher. I think early on in the game, in the first half, their guards on their team got a lot of cleaner looks with just us not being as high, and the bigs weren't really rolling to the paint. So in the second half, we wanted to get high up on the screens to kind of make the guards on the other team second guess.
You're a guy who's got a pretty good sense of history. You passed Marcus Page and Bob Lewis in career scoring for Carolina today. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it feels great. I mean, people can't say I've been here for 5 years because they still play more games than me. So I think it kind of evens out. That's my excuse for passing them.
Marcus have anything to say to you?
I haven't said anything to him yet, but I'll be sure to say something to him.
Carolina's got 4 days off before you're back home again on Friday night and then heading to the Bahamas as the competition goes up a notch. Once that happens, what does this team need to do better?
I mean, this is a huge week for us, kind of just to learn from our mistakes in the first 2 games that we played and also just keep continuing to get better. We play a great team on Friday, like you said, and then obviously we got a huge challenge coming up in the Bahamas, so we got to kind of show our maturity this week and work on just recovering as a team, but also just getting better and keep growing and growing every day.
That's Armando Bacot, 2020 man. Carolina beats Lehigh. Thanks, Mondo.
And thank you, Adam Lucas, for that conversation with one of Carolina's best in the 90-68 win over Lehigh. When it comes to the best play of the game, well, it comes courtesy of Coke Zero. They say it's irresistibly tasty. Does that make it the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. Let's find out what our Coca-Cola play of the game was.
So you've got 4 subs on the floor for the Tar Heels right now. And Lehigh going to a zone look here where you've got Cadeau and Trimble as the 2 guards. And Lehigh playing zone. Trimble drives hard, right of the lane, stop there, backs up. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Cadeau, crossover, jitterbugging around, sends it out to Harrison Ingram. Shot clock down to 4. Ingram spins into the paint, gets to the rim, and finishes with a man-side shot.